live. All right, everybody, welcome to the Bench Jewelers CAD Challenge. My name is Bo Valo. I'm senior training developer over at GymVision. So I've been with Stuller and GymVision 10 years now, going on 10 years. Over 10 years rather. Started over in the CAD CAM department, where focused a lot on the production and fulfillment side of the software. After that, moved over to GymVision, where now my day-to-day is training people, focused a lot on Matrix Gold, advanced content, curriculum things, and the such. So I have Mr. Joan here from our Barcelona office. Joan, you want to introduce?
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys. My name is Joan. I work for the GymVision team in Barcelona. Part of what we do is to develop the software, so we gather feedback from users, either advanced users or new users. We get that feedback and we work on those improvements for the next version of the software. So yeah, that's part of what we do.
Well, welcome. It's your first time to the Stuller building, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, pretty impressed.
I'm so impressed by the building. I can't imagine how many people work here. It's just like a huge amount of people, and it's very nice to see everyone that I work with on a regular basis.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we have global offices around, but GymVision's development team is over in Barcelona, and they do a lot of the behind-the-scenes CAD work. Joan does a little bit of training too. He also goes to India, taught some Indian dealers as well. So yeah, it's exciting. We have CAD Challenge every year at Battle of the Benches. Last 2 years were good, so I'm excited to see. I know a couple of these guys. You had a chance to chat with them?
Yeah, I had a chance to have lunch actually with Mr. Christopher White. So quite interesting background, family-run business.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's capable of doing.
It looks like he's doing Clay U.
Oh, wow, interesting approach.
Yeah. So it is a signet ring. For those that didn't hear the story, the customer story. So for the customer story, we have a gentleman came in looking for a custom designed signet style ring. So those are the big kind of gentleman's rings that you see, pinky ring, if you will, with custom design elements and using his customer stones. He's of Italian descent and resides in the posh districts of New York City. I feel like AI wrote this. He would like to include a few design aspects and inclusions. He is known to be an avid traveler, traveling to European mountains. You know well, European mountains. Middle East, many times. He likes the Turkish or Jolly style rings with geometric shapes and 6-point stars, as well as sculptural scrollwork and filigree. That's a mouthful.
It is.
He wants something that he can show off to his friends during the weekly card game and during fine dining events he attends with his friends group. He stated he wants a hefty ring, but doesn't want to break the bank in gold weight. Likes an open, airy, or two-tone design, wants some sort of emblem medallion set on top of the stone. And then they also have these customer details. So, and also, they're going to be judged on a couple of different categories: creativity and artistic expression, wearability, the craftsmanship, or CAD craftsmanship, I should say, difficulty level, so if they use something super difficult, surface modeling, that would be added score. Sellability, so how likely is it to sell, executed design directions, and that'll be it. So
we'll see. I can see that some of them, they have already some geometry in there. Some others are starting to work with curves.
Yeah.
So it's going to take longer to see some results, but let's see what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, that's a good call out because there's so many different modeling approaches. Like Chris up there started Clay U, which for those that don't know, Clay U is a organic modeling tool that's incorporated into Matrix Gold, where it takes an object and it subdivides it into, you can see the different divisions on that ring. And then customers using the selection tools up at the top can manipulate it, right? So yeah, Chris has been to quite a few Matrix Gold classes, so I'm excited to see what he can do. I told him I need to go visit him because he lives in Florida, the beach of Florida.
Oh, you really want to go there, right?
Yeah, I really want to. He lives in Pace, Florida, I believe, which is right by Destin. Destin's like white sand beaches.
Right,
it's gorgeous.
Let's see.
So yeah, he's doing Clay U. Let's see what the other are doing. Looks like.
Let's take a look at Andrew Smith for a second.
Yeah.
I can see that he's run a tech report right now. It's an interesting approach as well. Let's see how he fixes spacing between the halo stones and the center stone. That's something that he might want to look into. But,
yeah, that's very nice.
Still quite early to tell.
Looks like he used the Signet Ring Builder too, which is interesting approach as well. So inside of Matrix Gold, we have two different. Well, we have a couple, but for the parametric builders, we have two Signet Ring builders, advanced, and then the traditional, and then those will generate a Signet Ring for you based on certain parameters that you choose over on the right side. So.
Yeah, interesting approach with the profile placer here. He could have used the Halo builder, but he's made it manually.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why.
More control, maybe.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. And let's see the other ones also. Okay, looks like Haven's laying out a star shape using polar array.
Yeah, but he's going to have some overlapping geometry in there.
Yeah.
We need to fix that later on. Looking nice.
It is. Yeah. He has some sort of definition to it, so that's pretty cool. He's taking a different approach on the 6-pointed star, so that's pretty neat too. And then Joseph, looks like he is rebuilding surfaces for his bezel.
Did he explode it?
Dupe border. I think he's just trying to extract an edge. There you go. If I had to guess, he's probably going to curve network.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, curve network's kind of my go-to for signets, at least. Gives you a little bit more control, but
yeah, absolutely.
The builders are nice as well.
Yeah.
Andrew's already got his gym cutters out, man. He's rolling.
Yeah, I think that he hasn't done the settings for the center stone yet. It's something probably I would do at this stage, just in case, just to make sure that the distance is right. But looking quite good.
Yeah, I'm curious how he will set that. He definitely got the center shape, so that's good.
I'm not sure how the top connects with the shank at this stage, but
yeah. It's sometimes frustrating because I'd like to see like under the ring, you know, like hey, move it, but
he's doing something quite interesting that I always recommend to other users, which is renaming the dynamic command.
Yeah.
When you have like a huge list, it's really helpful to just have a better understanding of what's what, you know.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's great for organizational, you know, things. We teach it in our level 1 and level 2 curriculums, but we haven't seen a lot of users do it. But I always recommend as well, just for, like I said, those organizational things.
And now we have just seen like quite an interesting use of parametric tools. He had all the profiles laid out with the stones and everything. And now he's twisting the profile just slightly to adjust to the curvature. That's something that it's quite important in Matrix Gold.
It is, yep. So for everybody else that hasn't played in Matrix Gold or modeled in Matrix Gold, Matrix Gold was developed with parametric history behind the scenes. So that's a way of the commands kind of linking together to where any change in one of the branches will update the rest of the history tree. So it's pretty neat. You know, that's really what makes Matrix Gold special too.
Yeah. It's quite neck and neck, 3 of them at least.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think once Joseph finally lays out his curves and generates his surface, I mean, they have 3 hours, you know, so.
Yeah.
So I think once he lays out his curves, he'll be able to do that curve network, and it'll come to life pretty quickly. What do you think of Bench Jewelers so far?
Love it. It's quite amazing, yeah. I mean, so many different topics going on at the same time.
Yeah, there is.
Quite good energy here with professionals, so I certainly recommend coming here every next year.
And the Haven guy must have overheard you. It looks like he just trimmed all the overlapping surfaces and then joined them together. So
Can they actually hear us?
no, I don't think so. But
Just in case.
that would be cool.
I don't want to give any clues.
So he just created that star element using curves and probably a loft. I didn't see it, but he made it into a single object, right? And that's kind of the power. I was using that as the emblem.
Oh, okay.
So in the story, there was something about an emblem, right? The emblem on top of the stone. I'm interested to see how he conforms it to the stone, but
I think he's got it open, right? It's not capped at the back. It's not a solid yet.
it's a closed poly.
Is it? Okay.
So up at the top in the command line.
Yeah, I can see that now.
So that's pretty cool. He got that assignment well.
Yeah.
I have noticed he's very quick with his mount. So he's probably one of the more advanced users. You can see his decisions. He already knows what he's going to do next, which is very good to see.
In this case, he's using bend twice. One other approach could be to use bend with the symmetry option on the command line.
Symmetry. He's also using the Rhino bend. He could have done the parametric bend, which this guy's making French set. Andrew is doing a French set halo. That's pretty neat.
You might have noticed, I think it's Joseph, that he's using like a strange mouse for visualization. So you might see that the way it moves, it's a bit different.
Yep, he's using one of the space mice.
Yeah.
If we can zoom into those. I don't know if we got that power, but that would be cool to see. Yeah, his mouse is a 3D space mouse.
So you can orbit around the object just by a single.
Yeah, there you go.
You can see it on the left-hand side.
Man, we get everything around here. We just need to say it into existence. See how he's using the joystick? So
Yeah.
use both left and right hands at once.
Yeah, and he's also got some shortcuts on that mouse, so to change viewports,
Yep.
it's everything is big. It's personal choice, of course.
See, his is coming together. So it looks like he's building the top. And I see I don't know how to say the business name, but it's championship rings, right? So this may be right up his alley where it's a signet ring, Championship rings are signet rings with more detail on it, but
quite popular here in the US. So.
yeah. Looks like Chris went away with his ring. I don't know why he abandoned the signet, but
Well, peer pressure is getting in as well. Like
it is very
working under
nerve-wracking.
pressure.
I know. It is very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's not like working in the workshop.
No. Yeah, it's a lot different. For those that can't see, they probably have 50 to about 50 people watching, live. There you go. See Yazette. Yazette right there is part of our Barcelona team as well. They came down to visit us for a workshop.
Are they all working in parametric commands, most of them? I think Andrew Smith might be. Well, it might not be fully parametric, but
Most of it looks like
most
it.
of it looks parametric.
Yep. And now Chris went for the parametric builder as well. That's good to see. Yep. So it's kind of two different approaches, right? The Chris is using the dynamic commands, which you can see over there. It's a builder that'll generate, geometry based off of the inputs you put. And then Andrew was the other one doing parametric designing. And then Joseph and Haven are doing more stick building, we call, from scratch.
Also, I can't help but notice that Christopher White, he has a different layout than the other ones. Like, Matrix Wall, you can customize your interface as you wish. So you can see all the Rhino layers in there. So
yeah, that's a good call out too. We teach them early in our training classes that to update the UI to your desire, right? Anytime you're more comfortable in a software, you're going to be more effective and efficient. So we definitely teach him that. So it's good to see. He's been to 2 of our classes, so I'm glad he put that into practice. I really like the star that Haven's doing.
yeah, it looks quite nice.
Yep. There you go. Better look. feel like I'm gonna keep your finger busy, Brandon. You can be doop, doop. We keep calling out different things in our video guy. He's awesome, by the way. So we'll try to keep this fun. We'll introduce some new names and have them sit down, kind of chat with you guys. Do we know how many we have live? Let's see. 79. That's good.
Not bad.
My wife is probably tuning in. I told her I was going on a podcast, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna check it out." But this guy did some really nice French set. I really like that, actually. Andrew. So if you can see, this is how you do a French set in the halo.
Lines in there?
Yeah,
I wonder what that is.
That one?
Well, that reminds me to mention about the French set. Just to remind everyone that in Matrix World, you have the chance of creating your own French set settings with your own parameters. You can save them and just use them whenever you want.
Yep.
In this case, the guys doing the challenge, they're not using their laptops, so they don't have that option. But for those of you watching, you can, if you want, have your own settings, save them, and just apply them whenever you need to. So it's good.
Yeah, and I always tell them also incorporate the style sheets. So the style sheets they're a way you can like save those cutters to use them in the future. So to Juan's point, you're able to build the French set how you want and then save it for future use, right? Because that's kind of the benefit of parametric modeling. So
yeah, and everything will stay parametric, so that's a huge advantage. Who should we call next? You want to call somebody else to have a chat there?
yeah, let's
Let's look. Should we text somebody?
why don't you get Jason VJ?
Okay, let's look. Okay.
I can go grab him real quick. Told him to look over here every now and then, but
Oh, if he's showing us busy, he might be.
let's see. Let me go grab him. We'll get him down.
Oh, Andrew Schmidt is making some clothes in there. Does they look like clothes? Pretty sure they are. Just making it manually, just for making curves and extrude them. Fair enough. So we got Mystic Derek with us, so I'll pass the work to him.
Stick around and I'll call you back. All right. Well, couldn't find Jason, so we got the next best thing, Mr. Derek Savoy here.
Hey.
So Derek is actually one of our sales guys. He Western?
West Coast, yeah.
Yeah, West Coast. So, all right. Sorry, a little mic adjustment here. So yeah, Derek's keeps slipping on me.
We do it live.
There we go. It's all live. All right, now we're good. So yeah, Derek is one of our West Coast sales directors that sells Matrix Gold. So, is this your first CAD challenge? Second?
This is my second. Yeah.
Second. Yeah. Yeah. So you want to introduce yourself and?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, my name's Derek Savoy. Been with the company about 3 years now. Work with the West Coast mostly. Yeah, I enjoy it, man. The culture here, working with Jim Vision, it's great. I feel like we have like really close knit, working family. And then it's just cool, working in something that's like a cutting edge thing, in the industry.
Yeah.
I feel like any CAD it's always moving forward, and so it's always seeing, the cool stuff that's coming up.
I actually used your saying earlier in my class. The best CAD software is the one you know how to use.
Well, hey, man, it's easy to say that when we have, some really good trainers on our docket. So.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
But yeah, I mean, that is true. I mean, I think that's true with any tool, but I mean, CAD in particular, just because it's such an intricate tool to use, right? If you can be handed the most powerful software on the market, but if you don't know how to use it, you don't have the proper support, it's going to be useless.
Yeah. So Derek is actually pretty infamous around here. He was in Louisiana Cooking magazine, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want to tell the people a little bit about that?
Yeah. So me and my friends, we're actually called the Gravy Boys. We used to put on this party. So we're all some Cajun boys, born and raised. Gravy in Cajun culture. It's a little different than gravy across the world, right? We usually do it over rice, some pork steak. It's some really good, hearty food, right? So we used to do this party called Gravy Thursday, where essentially every Thursday we would cook a gravy, and it got really big.
Sounds like a delicious party.
It was very fun. I remember maybe half of it, but no, we got featured on Louisiana Cooking recently, so we have our recipe for gravy if anyone wants to go and cook it up.
Jim Vision's gravy recipe. There you go.
Yeah, I do two things: cooking gravy,
selling
CAD
software.
Well,
awesome. You see anyone you like here?
Man, I'm liking the one in the bottom right.
Andrew,
yeah really
so he did something cool with his French set design.
I'm interested to see what he's doing with that triangle there.
Yeah. So one of the parameters they had to build around was a 6-pointed star. So I'm thinking he may be going that way, but not 100% sure. Chris has finally come along. He started off with Clay U, changed a little bit, and then Haven has a nice little emblem up top, which is pretty cool to see. He, read the assignment quite well.
Yeah, I think that's what's interesting is that each person has a different assignment, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just designing. You're taking a look at what the customer needs, and then you're taking your CAD expertise and going from there. So it's not just your CAD expertise, and also it has to be manufacturing. So you're also taking in, jewelry.
And there's so many different workflows, and that's kind of what they're showcasing here. So Andrew is using, pretty much stick building. He used the builder to generate the signet. Chris used the builder as well, but the other two are pretty much building with curves. So, we incorporated parametric history if you want it, but it's not mandatory that you utilize it. And I think, you can see that firsthand right here. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is what's cool about it, and it is what's kind of difficult for you guys as trainers is that there is so many different ways to use the software. There's not any right or wrong way.
What's the question? What is going on with Haven adding a ring inside of a ring? That is a good question. So, whenever we design a signet ring, right, part of it is to not make it super heavy, right? The assignment was, he stated he wants it hefty, as in large, but does not want it to break the bank in gold weight. So whenever you add a ring inside of a ring, you can do a Boolean difference to reduce the metal weight from inside the ring. So you can see how, if he would spin it, right? There you go. You get a good look in there. So he added that second ring in there to Boolean or remove metal from the CAD, right? So he's just following the assignment. Good question, though.
Yeah, and again, this goes back to the different types of ways to design, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I see Andrew over here is putting. We call them pockets. So a pocket on the side of a signet ring. So I'm pretty sure he's going to take that shape and project it to the side of the signet, and he'll eventually Boolean it. He's extruding it right now, as you can see. Oh, going the other way. There you go.
It is.
So he's going to create a pocket for some sort of design. So yeah, there's so many different workflows. It's almost impossible to say you have to do this ring this way every time. And I think that's to Derek's point, why training is so imperative, right? You know, the best CAD software for you is the one you know how to use.
Exactly. And I mean, even our expert users of the software, I mean, the thing with CAD is there's just always something to learn. There's always, you know, new tricks, new things. You know, I think the learning just never stops.
Yeah. And honestly, that's true. You know, someone like me who's 10 years experience in CAD software, I personally learn something new every month, probably. You know, something I didn't know how to do. So, and that's also something I tell all of my students to stay inquisitive. Like, if you don't know how something works, maybe a command, go in there and find out, you know? So that's why training is so imperative. I do like Joseph's halo that he has right here. You can see his cornerstones match up quite nicely. Sometimes that's hard on these elongated cushions. And you can see he's doing a curved network. So I was correct. He's snapping that arc, and he'll either curve network it or sweep it, getting it over to the other side. So Derek, how can, if they're interested and they like what they see, how can they reach out to you?
Oh man, I gotta put my sales pants on. So yeah, you can reach either me or my sales partner, Carrington. We offer like a wide variety of trainings, so you know we can kind of fill you in on what we offer, whether it's our instructor-led classes, whether it's, you know, our one-on-one trainings, our online academy. But yeah, you can reach out to us, find us on gymvision.com, based on, you know, what state you live in, and you know, we'll just be happy to chat with you, see what we can offer, what you need, and we'll base it off that.
And you guys do demos for customers as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We could do, you know, these demos where we show you some basic functions and we show you kind of how to design within Matrix Gold, things like that. So yeah, man, it's you know, and again, we're just happy to kind of learn what you need for your business, right?
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thanks for joining us, man. I think I see Jason over there eyeing me. Jason's actually the one that taught me quite a bit, so let's get him on in here.
Yeah, well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Hey, there we go, baby. Thanks, Bo.
All right, man. You want to get Jason? We'll get Moose in here. That's his nickname. All right, here he is. The man, the myth, the legend.
I don't know what kind of stories Bo's telling people.
Well, pretty much nobody would know that. Jason and I go way back to CAD CAM. So, Jason, you want to introduce yourself? Tell the people who you are.
Yeah, I'm Jason Vijay. I've been with the company 36 years next month. Kind of grew up in the building, started off in manufacturing back in the day, prepping, polishing rings. Stayed doing that in that department probably stayed in the polishing and prepping 4 or 5 years, then got into management in that area. Started the first platinum team for the company back in that time frame. Probably a total of 10 years in that manufacturing spot, then went out of there and went into metal mold engineering and started focusing on product development for the company and customer development.
Yep.
Then in that time frame is when we purchased Gymvision, and then we started drawing and designing in Matrix and Countersketch Designer and Countersketch Studio.
Yeah.
So stayed in there for, 15 plus years or so, doing product development, customer development in that. And in 2010, we started our CAD CAM services. And in 2011, my director and myself from product development, we stepped into CAD CAM services and took over the management in there and focused on building up the CAD CAM services for our company.
Yeah.
So Bo got in there probably around, I don't know, 2014? 14-ish,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. 2015, I was asked to create the sketch service. So we did kind of a soft rollout 2015 for custom creation, sketch service, one of a kind. Bo joined up in there probably 2016, and we never looked back. Sketch just continued to grow. Skyrocketed. The software continues to improve. We've got some really good things in the work for our software. CAD CAM Services is excited about that.
Yep.
Working hand in hand with Bo and his team and all of our developers. So we're looking at some really good stuff coming up for our product.
Now, for those that don't know, what does the sketch team do?
So our sketch team, basically you can send in images. It can be hand drawings, napkin sketches. People send in pictures of body art, tattoos. We'll create pendants, family crest jewels, different things like that. But from certain projects, we'll work one-on-one with the customer, giving screenshots. We'll do beauty shots. We can do a few little shared screen sessions as well if it's a complex design to get that nailed down and just right for the customer.
Yep. So the customer sends in a napkin sketch and details, kind of like what we did for the CAD comp, right, where they have their story.
That's correct.
So customer sends this into the CAD CAM sketch team, and they create it from scratch. Pretty neat, right? I was on the ground floor whenever we were in CAD CAM, and those were interesting times. We were trying to figure it out as we go, but man, you guys are skyrocketing right now, rolling. That's awesome. Any one of these that you like? So I see Joseph is doing a texture. Haven's doing a lot of geometric designs. And then Chris and Andrew are using builders. He's got some nice French set in there. It's always a popular take. So
yeah, it's pretty good workflows on all parts. I noticed a couple of them started off with looked like the Clay Signet builder, and then they've started over and done some few different avenues of the designs.
yeah, it looks like he's building some geometric pattern, which is pretty cool. So it's funny, but going back to CAD CAM, I always keep this photo on my phone when people ask what I do. Tell me if you remember this one we did way back.
Yeah, the good old alligator ring.
Alligator and the chicken feet.
Definitely.
So yeah,
we definitely get some interesting requests for sure.
Oh yeah.
That was a good customer of ours out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yep. So she wanted an alligator on the side of her ring along with chicken feet as prongs, and she asked, so we delivered. So it looks like Joseph's doing Jolly down there. You guys do a lot of Jolly, or do you kind of build it from scratch?
A couple of them will use Jolly. Most of us build it from scratch. Some of us will flow that particular pattern like that, but that's an excellent execution of that workflow right there.
Yeah, and I'd have to imagine he'll eventually hide that surface underneath, because one of the prerequisites for a Jolly surface is a single surface to flow your curves on. It looks like he did that, and then he's just going to pipe the Jolly, which he did, and hide the surface eventually. So pretty neat. Joseph, that's the guy I was telling you about, where his company builds championship rings. Yeah.
It's interesting to see his workflow, though. He's building basically his top, where most of the other guys have already started, building their shank.
Yep. It's good, though. I mean, and that's one of the things that's very powerful inside of Matrix Gold. There's so many different workflows that you can do, right? You can start with the top, build the bottom, start with the bottom. You can, there's so many different workflows. So
yeah, there's not only just one workflow. There's nothing's to say that you have to do it this way. You can build this ring 5 different ways, 10 different ways. You'll find your workflow that works best for you, and then you're going to go with it.
Yep. Looks like Joseph's about to curve network his shank. So curve network is probably one of my favorite commands, right? It's you essentially outline the bones, the shape of your design with curves. Then you select them all, and the surface will fill in the gaps, essentially. Very powerful when you're doing surface modeling, when you want to pull points, control points on surfaces. So that's, I was telling Joanne, if I build a signet, I do it curve network, right? Pretty much every time. Jason had a bunch of cool signet rings that he had designed in his past, right?
Yeah,
just a couple.
Definitely, a couple.
He's trimming a bunch of geometric curves. Andrew's almost done over here. I feel like all he's going to do is put some filigree in those windows and be done. Pretty neat, though. I like how he tied the... Oh, he's got a marquee now.
He's going to do a surprise diamond.
A little peekaboo.
Yeah, a little peekaboo right there.
Yeah. Should have made it a little bit taller, but...
Yeah, he can still make that adjustment if he needs to.
Yep.
Raise the top, raise the halo.
That's the power of parametrics. And that's what's also good about Matrix Gold. You don't have to model parametrically if you don't want to. You've seen a bunch of them have laid out the curves, right, and swept or curved network. Those are not parametric models. You know, the legacy software, you can do it that way, and in our current software, you can do it that way as well. So.
Yep, there goes the stone up. Here we go. Halo moved up. He's got room now.
Nice. All right. Well, let me see. I had one more guest speaker. I was going to see if I could get in. I saw Michael Park around there. You want
me to go look for him?
If you don't mind. Yeah. Thank you, buddy. So for those still here, Jason actually taught me quite a bit about what I know. When I started CAD CAM, I was doing validation, which is whenever we intake customer models, we make sure they're producible, make sure they're settable, make sure that they can get through the whole production stream. So coming in as a green designer, I had no idea of any of that. Right, so Jason taught me quite a bit. He's a good guy, great guy. I believe he's going to get Michael Bartlett. Jason. I think he's ready. I love the geometric shapes that Haven Honeycut is doing, if you want to zoom in on that. I don't know what he's going to do with it yet, but he really read the assignment quite well. He's laid out these shapes and now outlining to join the curve into a single curve. So I don't know where this is going, if he's just going to put it onto the side of the shank or what, but all right, we got another one, guys. We got another one. What's up?
Oh, really close? Okay.
We're doing it live.
Hi.
All right, we got another special guest. So not Michael, but just as good. So this is Mr. Derek Pinto. He's another part of our sketch team. If you want to introduce yourself, tell the people who you are.
Yeah, my name is Derek Pinto. I've been working in jewelry. I've been working in jewelry my entire life and working in Matrix for like 16 years. So it's been a minute.
Just a little while.
Yeah, just a small amount of time. It's really cool to be able to see what everyone's been doing. Like I've been standing in the booth off to the side and just kind of watching what's going on. Just the approaches that people have taken from the start, and me just being like, well, maybe I would have done it differently.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were speaking to, Jason and I. Like, there's so many different workflows that you can do. There's a kind of weird saying down here in the South called there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Definitely heard that.
Don't ask me why, but you can approach this ring so many different ways. You are our resident Sub-D designer.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You love Sub-D. So Clay U or Rhino Sub-D? Either one?
Mostly I use Rhino Sub-D now. I never really picked up Clayu Sub-D, but they're functionally, they work really similar.
Yeah.
So like if you're really good at one, you'll be pretty good at the other one. There's just a bit of a learning curve. It's funny too, because like I saw a lot of people jumping in, immediately start making like design elements and everything, and I was like, man, I just would start with the center stone and just build it out from there.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely would too, and that's kind of what I was like. Put that center stone out, offset, to get your thickness you want. Maybe you want a halo at the top, and then curved network, or in your case, Sub-D.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many different workflows. Andrew down here is almost done, and then Haven is almost done as well. He's got a pretty neat geometric pattern.
Yeah, I saw him putting that together on the other side. I was wondering if he was rebuilding the gem or something at the start, and I was like, oh man, that's going to put you really far behind. But this is a pretty interesting use of all just the basic geometric tools. Also, I like how his command line is in Comic Sans. It's making me laugh a little bit.
Customizable, guys. That's what we go for, right? So that's one of the reasons we developed Matrix Gold. There was a lot of users that were happy with our legacy software, Matrix 9, but whenever we developed Matrix Gold, there was much newer technology base made available to us. So we developed Matrix Gold with complete customization in mind, whether it be customization for the design or customization in the user interface. Maybe you wanted to change your command line to Comic Sans. Well, you can do that.
That's a choice. It's absolutely a choice.
So long as it's not wingdings, I'm good.
Oh, gosh. You're deciphering. Well, let me just consult the hieroglyphics before I even begin to design.
There you go.
Gosh. It's funny, too, because I didn't even know this, but you can hold Control and then I think it's left-click or right-click on any command in the ribbon bar and change it.
Yep. You sure can.
Which is pretty awesome. I've done that for a few things where I don't really use the other command with it, and it's just nice to have it and not have to type it all out every single time.
Yep. Hold Shift and right-click, and it'll open the command edit. So if you wanted to put
it's Shift?
Custom macro in it, or change the icon even, you can do that. Complete customization. I've
got that going for sure.
Joseph has a really nice shape. I love it.
Oh yeah, that's coming along really nicely.
Joseph used a curved network, and now he's extracting an isocurve. I'd imagine to eventually put
stones on it. Yeah, or maybe even, you know what I think he's doing? I think he's making his recess right now.
Oh, his pocket.
Yeah,
right.
So he's about to use those to be able to split that surface away, and then probably offset surface of some kind.
He is. He's making his pocket.
Yeah. He's got to be careful just a bit about those little edges there that get really narrow. It just might not be thick enough.
Yeah.
In production. Yeah.
Exactly.
But otherwise, it's coming along really nicely. Although he does have championship rings in his title, so he may have a small advantage.
Yeah.
He may do this quite a bit.
Yeah.
I know I probably would struggle with this just a little bit, just because I haven't done a championship ring or an award ring in a long time.
Yeah.
So it's really, you're only as good as about the last time that you did it and can remember to do it. What is his zoom? That is cool.
He's got the 3D space mouse.
Oh.
Can you cut to it? Yeah, there you go.
That is wild. I don't even... Okay.
Space mouse, man. Just like you can move... You do have to be ambidextrous because you have to have both hands, because one's the mouse, one's the space mouse, but it's very beneficial whenever you want to zoom in and zoom out. So
I gotcha. I mean, especially if you have macros or something tied on that one hand, imagine you could be it really smooth.
And look,
really
while
fast.
we were going, he did exactly what you said he was going to do. He was going to split it, offset it, and there you go.
There it is. I'm noticing his seams don't quite line up. He'll probably just blend surface in between there,
I'd have to imagine, yeah.
Or take a little bit of the, dupe the edge of the top bezel and then just split away that little tiny curve so that he can sweep it between the two.
So what Derek's pointing out is over on the right side of the screen, you can see how the edges aren't necessarily aligning. So one thing you have to make sure of when you're modeling in CAD is that all of your edges are touching, right? So if they don't touch, you're not going to have a solid object. So in order to print, in order to cast, right, you have to have a solid single surface object, and he's just wondering how we're going to join that, how he's going to join that. So yeah, he may have an unfair advantage. Probably should bet him a little bit, but no, it's good competition, right?
We picked the prompt well before. Did we write the prompt well before we picked the people?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I can see he's going for a championship style with like gypsy set stones all around. So.
yeah, that's flush sets right on the side there.
Yeah, I do like the. If you want to switch to Haven real quick.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's just gonna leave that just to cut out, or if he's gonna
taper.
Okay.
Look. Okay.
That's a taper.
Pull, project to surface, maybe.
I think so. That's probably what he's gonna do. I mean, he may just extrude them, honestly.
Yeah.
And then pull to surface.
It's pretty neat. He started with his stone up at the top, and then he made that emblem, which is part of the design story. So yeah, he definitely read the assignment. Yeah.
Gosh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it really is. He's got the Comic Sans and all.
Gosh, that is definitely. It adds to the charm, I guess.
So they have about an hour left, so you're going to see they'll start to put together the finishing touches.
You get a lot done in an hour, though.
Yeah,
That's
you
for
definitely
sure.
can. Yep. Whenever they got here, whenever the contestants got here, they were provided a notebook as well as the story, right? So that way they can kind of ideate and think about the design prior to sitting down. So I'm glad that paid off, because you can definitely see they're all coming together quite nicely.
Oh yeah. Well, especially the concentric star in the upper left there. That's really neat. That's not super easy to put together, especially to have all those overlapping pieces.
You're right. Yep.
If they flow above and below, it looks like maybe he just
Image trace.
and then snipped it out.
Yeah.
Just trimmed it all to have his different spots.
Yeah, I think you are right, but yeah, those are very difficult. The overlapping is difficult concept, but I didn't see how he did it, but I'd have to imagine it would be image trace. So
It's interesting, and it's funny too because immediately I saw him pop up the rhino layers on the side there too.
I know.
Yeah, it's interesting to just see how people what they're comfortable with and what layers they work with.
Yeah.
I mean, from being a long-time Matrix veteran,
Yep.
I just stick to the defaults. Red is anything that I'm tracing, and then green is just the general working color.
Yeah, and from Matrix, right? Yellow is the creation curves,
Yep.
purple the heads. I have that same layer convention set up for mine too. So
There's a guy in our department who works with everything in cyan and funky colors, and I just don't know how I can stand staring at it all day. But to each their own. If you can stomach it and you like it, then go for it.
complete customization,
Yeah.
Comic Sans and all. I'm gonna steal that one actually.
I see. Okay, so he's gonna trim it out to the edge there, and then use that to
Haven.
inset it on Haven.
Yeah. So it seems like he drew a curve to match the edge of his signet, and then he's just going to trim because he made his design, his texture a little bit too wide, so he's going to trim out, that way it follows the edge of the signet, the leading edge.
I wonder how he's going to deal with those stars on the top part there, just because they do bleed over the top quite a bit.
Yeah.
I imagine you could do some kind of cool, chamfered edge shape, kind of diamond shaped, not necessarily fall into the normal kind of square shoulder that kind of everyone else is going for right now.
I do, so my workflow for this would have been curve network, obviously the bottom, extract kind of like Joseph did, and then pull that surface, use that surface to smart flow too. That way you can get smart flows. That's probably one of my favorite commands, actually, smart flow. Just because it's so powerful.
Oh, yeah.
If you could imagine what Haven's doing right now, where he's trying to take a square, rigid object and putting it on a curved signet ring, right? It's pretty difficult. So what SmartFlow does, it takes pretty much the shape and area of a surface and lays it flat on the ground. And then you can take that flat geometry and flow it to the curved surface. So.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me see if we can get Michael on here. That way we can touch all the bases. But I appreciate you for joining us, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to step in.
Yeah.
Let me see if we can find him.
I think he's right behind you. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend.
Are we live?
We are live. We're doing it live.
I'm here. Let's do it. I'm here.
All right, so got Mr. Michael Bartlett here.
How you doing?
You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Michael Bartlett. I am the manager of the CAD design department in new product design and development, and I have been with Stuller for 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. A little bit longer than me, 5 years. I think I've been 10 years. So for those that have seen us at trade shows and JCK, Michael is the one in the suspenders.
Yeah.
Everybody says, man, that guy's awesome. Who's the guy in the suspenders? Well, that's Michael.
That's me.
That's Michael.
I got suspenders on right now.
He does. He does, yep. So that's what he's known for, other than his amazing design work. So
Thank you, sir. Takes one to know one.
well,
That's what I've heard.
that's what you heard.
Yeah.
So Michael is, in my opinion, one of the best 3D modelers we have at Stuller.
Thank you, Bo.
So, yeah, tell us a little bit about your background. I know you have a little bit of art background, maybe?
Yeah, so I went to school for product design. The classical term is just industrial design. Basically, industrial designers are the guys that design what silverware looks like, shoes look like, cars. Famously, people like Raymond Loewy, the godfather of streamlining, the famous Sears Coca-Cola refrigerator.
Yeah.
Like, industrial designers have been at the core of making things look nice and functional. You know, so I went to school for product design, found a passion for design, and I went to school in Lafayette, Louisiana, which is how I got introduced to Stuller. And at that time, when I was looking for a design career, for me, it was either get a job at Stuller or move out of the state.
Move out of state, yeah.
Exactly. And for me, something I discovered when I first encountered Stuller was this world where you can design for a product that has emotional significance.
Yeah.
And that's something that I hadn't encountered previously. I thought for sure I knew what I was going to do when I left school. I thought it was going to be with something related to motorcycles. In fact, my first design career was designing racing apparel for motorcycle racers, custom gear, equipment that's sold around the world for the motorcycle industry. And it wasn't until I encountered Stuller that I realized when there's an emotional investment to a product, as there is with jewelry, there's more to it and more of a passion both on the consumer side and the developer side. So Stuller wasn't just convenient because it was in Lafayette, but it really was topping the charts of something I wanted to learn more about and be a part of.
Yep. On the cutting edge, always.
Always.
Yeah. And that's one thing maybe the audience doesn't appreciate or doesn't understand. Whenever you're in Lafayette, you see this big building and it's like, oh, that's Stuller, you know. But once you get inside, it really is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but for jewelry. I mean, I use that terminology, that analogy all the time in my training classes, but it's Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but for jewelry. So it's pretty impressive.
It's a perfect way to put it. It's and so many people advertise the value in the Disney bubble. The Disney bubble being that when you get to, or an all-inclusive resort in general, when you get there, you're set. You have everything at your fingertips, whether it be transportation, food, entertainment. It's like being on a cruise, being at an all-inclusive resort. That is the Stuller facility. This 600,000 square foot facility has within it what you could break down into easily 60 other mini businesses,
For
right?
sure.
From marketing to our own professional engineers, HVAC, contractors,
software
fabricators,
developers.
Absolutely. So
Industrial designers.
Jewelry's a big part of it, but to keep this jewelry beast running requires so many specialists, and it all happens within these walls that is a mystery to those that just see a big facility.
Yeah. I mean, I also work in the facility. I've been here for 10 years, and like every month or two, I'll be walking down the halls and be like, man, I didn't even know we did that,
Absolutely. And
So-
to me, that's what's special to have customers visiting us like we have today. We have over 150 customers, I think,
Yeah.
on site. And to me, that's special because they get to see what they're a part of. By being a partner with us and working with us, they get to see what happens when they call and ask a question. And they get to see what happens when they place an order, and all of the levels of communication and relationships that happen in the facility to get a single item out the door. To me, that's what's special about getting people here, getting people in the facility, and seeing exactly what they get to be a part of.
Yeah, that's very, very well put, man. So, looking at the designs, I mean, I know they still have an hour left, but which one, in your opinion, is leading the comp?
So to me right now, looking at the designs where they're at, I think that there's a level of dynamics that you strive for in design. So obviously if we're going towards a signet ring or championship ring style, how can you elevate that style, right? How can you make it more without overdoing it? And right now I'm looking at Andrew Schmidt's ring and the dynamic he's bringing into it with framing in the overall silhouette of a championship ring, but building it out in a way that I would consider not traditional.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see where it gets in the last hour. And I think that there's a balance there in what the perception of a ring like this is, and then when you start to see it take a different dynamic like this, as a designer, I probably would not have gone with this approach. If I would have looked over and seen him doing this, I would have gone, oh man, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see so many different approaches in, taking, because that's one thing that we call out in all of our trainings. Like there's no one particular workflow,
Absolutely.
no one particular style that you have to build inside of Matrix Gold. It's dealer's choice, and I think you kind of see that unique style from Andrew right there. Joseph I didn't know this ahead of time, but has an unfair advantage because he designs championship rings, as you can see. So I think he does this quite often, and his is pretty far along too. I like that. I tend to like Haven's. Haven has this kind of geometric pattern.
For sure.
Very popular in like Turkish jewelry, things like that. Looks like he just did a boolean to get, I don't know, he just undid it. So it's about the time where they start to get all those, finer details.
And I'm going to tell you what I always look at when I see something like this. For whether it's a large-scale live CAD competition, or if I'm just watching someone do CAD over their shoulder, maybe skills training across the board here at the facility. But no matter what, when I'm watching someone do CAD, I'm watching to see how often they job bag.
Yep, that's...
And I'm going to tell you.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is, and that's one thing that I actually told a lot of the people before they started. I was like, look, we're live, job bag often, So that's good to see. I think Andrew just job bagged, which was awesome. Haven did too, so glad they took my took my advice.
Oh, yeah. So for those of you listening, job bagging is another way of saying quick save. A job bag is a feature within the software that allows you to very quickly, with just the quick selection of what you so choose to store. It could be the entire model, or it could be just a section of it. And then you can just literally drop it in the bag, essentially. You click a little button, and it stores it for you to go back to and grab it. It would be equivalent if you're building a piece of furniture and you're about to cut that piece of wood in half. Mm-hmm. This is your beautiful piece of imported lumber that you've only got the one of.
Yeah.
If you could immediately duplicate it to save a backup just in case something goes wrong, that's essentially job bagging. So you're going to job bag it. If something goes wrong, you can always fall back on that job bag. Or if you need to re-reference something after an adjustment comes down the line, sometimes you go so far into the ring and you need to go back to a certain step to make adjustments. But job bagging, if nothing else, is your safety net for should the, I hate to say it, technology bug bite you.
Yeah, and it does.
It
still,
stings.
trust me. I'm all too aware of that technology bug. But yeah, job bag is imperative. We teach it in our level 1 and level 2 curriculums. It's like Michael said, a way to just save what you're working on just in case, right? And as you can see on the left of Andrew's screen, if you want to zoom in for me, Brandon. So at the bottom left, you can see there's the projects panel, right? He's designing a men's ring, which thankfully he is. There's 2 buttons underneath men's ring where it's full save or job bag, right? So a job bag is, like Michael explained, it'll save what you have selected. And a full save is more like a save as, if you will, inside the software. So a save as will save everything about your document. It'll save your user interface, the way you have your panel set up, applied render materials, everything. So I use, at least in my workflow, I use a combination of both. So I use full saves as my iterative saves, where it's like version 1, version 2, version 3, and then the job bags I'll do in between those saves. So look like Haven just experienced that. I'm glad he job bagged.
Absolutely.
So it looks like Haven just did a Boolean command, which if you're a CAD designer, you know all too well that Booleans are pesky sometimes.
He hit the rev limiter. Yeah, ran the engine pretty hard.
Yep, he definitely, the RPMs got up there.
Yeah. When you're in a competition like this, I'd have to say that's another risk. It's an added risk because you're running repetitive commands quickly back to back to back, and you're pushing the computer, the hardware, and everything. It's just like running a car in a race as opposed to driving on the street. Job bag is your friend. Yeah,
that's a good point. So glad to see Chris and Joseph are coming together. Looks like Joseph outlining some sort of scroll pattern, which hopefully he'll put inside of that window that he made a signet pocket. So I'm curious to see if he puts that scroll work inside of the pocket of the signet. And then Chris has a few elements in his full save, as you can see. There we go. So you can see he's got a few elements in there. He's got his ring saved as a full save. So he's creating this Turkish moon. So he's probably going to extrude that as well into another piece.
And it's interesting to see the different ways that the designers approach the silhouetting. And in some cases, it's precision from the get-go. Look at, if you notice how his cursor's moving, slow and smooth. They say slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yep.
And it looks like there's probably intent to not have to go back and finagle with this curve too much.
Control points.
Exactly. Yep. Whereas in some cases, you're going to see a designer just click, getting it on the screen, and then going back and fine-tuning it.
Yep. Yeah, and we actually teach in our level 2 curriculum. So when you're on these long runs, kind of like he was, the moon, right? It's a very nice curvature. You don't need to put control points every half millimeter, right? Yeah. You can take and get that curve nice and organic. Whereas something like the star that he's doing, right, he needs a little bit more texture and detail to it, so he's adding a few more control points. So it's good that Chris has actually been to like level 1, level 2, and counter sketch training, so he comes to quite a bit. So I'm glad he puts what we tell him into practice.
Great. Isn't that what it is at the end of the day? Just every time you're doing CAD, it's practice.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's what I was telling them. I think it was with Jason. Like I've been in the CAD software for like 10 years, and I learn something new probably once a month.
Oh, absolutely.
Once a month.
Absolutely.
It's about always staying like inquisitive and learning. Like, I might not be able to figure this command out, but let me try and then dig through it and work through it and see. That's some beautiful scroll work. Joseph.
Yeah, this is exciting.
So this is where we're kind of getting all those final touches in. So I like that he is using the image that he saved and traced.
And Bo, can you reiterate the design prompt that they were provided with?
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. So for those that have just joined us or have joined since we read this, so they were given a story this morning when they got here to Stuller. So the story is a gentleman came looking for a custom designed signet style ring. or even a pinky ring with custom design elements and customer stones. He's of Italian descent, resides in the posh districts of New York City. He would like to include a few design aspects or inclusions. He's been known to be an avid traveler, traveling to European mountains and Middle East many times. He likes the Turkish and Jolly style rings with geometric shapes and 6-pointed stars. He likes sculptural scrollwork and filigree designs, and then he wants something he can show off to his friends during their weekly card game or during a fine dining event he attends with his friends. He would like the ring to be hefty, as in large, but not break the bank in gold weight. He likes airy open designs or even two-tone, which is 14 yellow white mix or yellow red mix. And then wants some sort of medallion or emblem on top of the center stone, which is very similar to what Haven did up there. So. And then there's a bunch of other customer details and inclusions, as well as a few image examples. And even better, you'll probably like this, Mr. Michael. So this is what they'll be judged on, right? So creativity and artistic expression.
Great.
Wearability, right? Always important.
Yep.
Craftsmanship. It should CAD craftsmanship, CADmanship, if you will. Difficulty level. So if they use something that's very difficult, like Subd or something like that, it'd be added points. Sellability and executed design direction. So
fantastic.
Follow the prompt well.
And I think that sharing that prompt really gives those of you that are just joining us more recently an idea of why there's the themes in there that just so happens to seem like that's the string connecting them all together. Is that gem, the center gem for Haven, is that upside down?
I believe it's a rose cut.
Is it rose cut? Okay.
I believe it is a rose cut, yep. And
it looked like it was pretty thin, but I couldn't tell if he went rose cut upside down, which is interesting, or if it was just the nature of it, if it was a faceted top. But it's fantastic.
It's pretty neat. I like his pattern that he cut away. As you can see, Boolean difference, the pattern that he was building earlier on the side. So he's definitely following the design instructions. I don't know what he's doing with that marquee. You can't set a stone with a stone, so.
Well, there we go. We got something upside down.
Oh, you called it, man.
There's a vibe, man.
You called it. You called it, man.
Look, Gumball is your friend, and I'm gonna tell you, I was resistant to Gumball when it first
came out. Really?
Yeah, because I just always felt it was there, right where I wanted to click was a Gumball anchor or something. And now it's as with I'm gonna call y'all out to all the CAD designers out there that are resistant to change.
Yeah.
I think you could not count on one hand. It would take at least two hands all the times that we encounter something that we don't like and then end up loving down the line.
Yep.
I could say it for T-spline. Spline modeling.
Yeah, T-spline.
Gumball. Yep. So many of these different things where I was like, oh, that's not how I do it. And then now it's like, I love it.
It's a little bit better this way. Yep. Exactly.
It's just a new tool in your toolbox.
Exactly.
It's not a this only and forever now. It's a this and, right?
It's exactly right. So you kind of reiterated what we spoke about earlier about Matrix Gold, how, initially there was some hesitation like, oh, there's a new learning curve. You got to design a different way. And while some of that is true, you can still model the same way that you're accustomed to, or you can use these added tools with parametric history to help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. And the beauty of anything technology-based is that the early onset of it can never be your be-all, end-all reaction to it. Smartphones at one time were scoffed at.
Yeah.
How dare you think you need a camera?
A computer in your pocket?
Come on. And I think that's the case in so the example that you gave with Matrix Gold. The 2019 Matrix Gold is not the 2025 Matrix Gold.
No, not at all.
And I'd have to agree with people that in 2019, it was just learning to walk.
Exactly. Yep.
And I think that's something that
But the same is true also for legacy Matrix. Matrix 1 was not what Matrix 9 was.
Exactly. That's the case. That's always the case.
Yep.
It's learning a new language, and how much time do you spend in that? You'll never learn a language better than being immersed in native
Fully.
speaking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fully. Exactly.
So,
No, that's a great point.
yeah.
All right, so we're definitely here for Bench Jewelers Workshop. If you're just joining us, so 2025, we're here at Bench Jewelers Workshop for the CAD CAM Challenge. We have 4 contestants here. I believe 3 of the 4 is their first time to Bench Jewelers Workshop.
Fantastic.
Yep.
It's a fantastic opportunity, not just for our customers, but engagement with our customers. We love to see them here. Bench Jewelers Workshop we put on every year. It's an event where we bring out all the tools. I mean, the goods, the new, the stuff we've been using for 10 years, and the stuff that we've been using for 10 days that we're excited to share. We've got our expert metalsmiths. We've got Sam Alfano engraving here. We've got stone setters. We've got all of these different benches set up, and I'm looking out over the crowd at all of our customers sitting down trying it out. This is an opportunity for you to test things that you don't know if you need,
and
or you
play
didn't
around
know
with
you
it.
could do. We as a business, we take those experts that we have in-house, we bring them down to our bench work, Battle of the Benches area, we bring it to our tools area, we bring them all out for the weekend so that they can engage with our customers and so that our customers can talk to those who use these things every day in and day out. Whether it's lasers, microscopes, soldering tools, setting tools, even our benches. We got our benches out here. We got our electrosonic machines. And
You can probably hear it going in the background.
yeah. But basically for us, Bench Jewelers Workshop, which is one of our customer events that we host on site, is in contrast to Bridge in just that this is about the hands-on jewelry artisanship.
Like back of store.
Yes, and this is going to come from the balance of maintaining artisanship in the technologies that we offer. How can we make you more efficient, the process more efficient? But it's also down to just the hand skills. What does it take to size a ring? How are you with assembling a pinch shank to a 90-degree head?
Yeah.
All of these different things are what make the Bench Jewelers Workshop special, because we're going to have the floor set up for you to try them, learn them, and just gain more experience in that. This is a very hands-on event that's open to our customers. And our other events like Bridge are similar in our customer engagement, but different in the level of hands-on tools usage that we set up for.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I don't know if you can see from the wide camera angle, but there's probably 150 people here in what we call our mall, just playing around with all the tools that we have online in our catalog. We also have vendors here. I see PJI, Click. So yeah, it's super fun. I don't know about you, but Bench Jeweler is one of my favorite time of the year.
One of the things I love about it is that it sets a platform with all of these setups for our customers to give us the I wish.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. Well, guess what we're doing today?
Yeah.
Let's have a seat. And that's where, just a second ago, one of our master jewelers got up and had someone sit down and was sawing through the bottom of a shank, someone new to the industry, things that some of y'all might have been doing for years, and we're still trying to spread that.
Yeah.
But to me, I love when the customer says, I wish y'all did this. And our answer is, did you know we do that?
That's a good point,
or on
too.
the other side, it's, I wish y'all did this, and that's when we can go,
Oh, you know what? You're right.
I think we probably should.
Yeah, that's a good call out too. I love, and I think it's kind of a cultural thing, right? But whenever customers come in the building, just because we can kind of show off and show out. I really like, not to change topics too abruptly, but
it's what we're here for. Let's talk about it.
What Joseph's doing. So that scroll work he laid out from a top view, he's actually using it as a background texture.
That's fantastic. Yep.
On that pocket, that's something I wouldn't have done, but I like that he's including that. Chris is finally coming together with all of his details and little emblems. And then Haven's doing something cool. He's got a head up there. I saw he was also putting I don't know if he abandoned it or not, but he had a marquee that he was going to put on top of the prong, right, to kind of set that center, which I don't know would be settable, but it'd be cool to see. Cool to try at least.
We can find a way. You know, and that's one of those things there's always this world where if you want to preserve that exterior set look, you know, it could be backset. We could backset it from within the finger side of things, and all that other stuff on the outside is just illusion.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done that a couple times with.
Haven.
Yep. That's that dreaded. I hope he had a job bag.
We had a rhino crash. Did you know a group of rhinos is called a crash?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like you got a herd of cattle and a crash of rhino.
I wasn't lying to you people. I learn something new every day. Every day in this building. I may need to get up to go see if he's okay. Be right back.
Yeah. Yep. Joseph is shifting around, trying to get a look. It looks like he's trying to preview for himself what the two-tone experience will be for this piece. We did have that design prompt. Our hypothetical customer was looking for something potentially two-tone, and Joseph has been going back and forth between a render view, and it looks like he's color coding his layers. It's good for control, but it also might be good for his own visualization on what he's looking to do in terms of a two-tone assembly or just the aesthetic in general. And there you go, you can see he's using some different cutouts, shifting around. Oh, he's duplicated his flow surface. Looks like he's going to be building out a new base surface potentially, and he's already got his aesthetics chosen, mountain range. So he's obviously got a vision in mind, and it's nice now that he's unhidden some of it. For those of you that are joining us, we get a little preview. He's going to have a mountain range towards that travel. There's a design prompt. We're designing it for a gentleman who likes to travel. He lives in the posh areas of New York, but is originally from Italy, and he's looking for a pinky ring or potentially a signet style ring with two-tone, ornate, and then some symbology representative of the different travels like he likes to be a part of. And right now he's doing his line work on a new silhouette.
All right. Sorry. Yeah, it looks like he's got some sort of mountain.
Yeah, so he's actually duplicated his base surface for flowing it up onto the ring. So now he's got a left and a right for the left and right of the ring. And Bo's just joining us after assisting with some customers here. So
Technical
I'm catching him up.
assistance.
Yep. So he's going to be now shifting over and building out the silhouette on the other side of his ring.
So part of the design prompt was he wants to travel and see European mountains. This here, pro spot.
Shout out to Menard Jewelers. Thanks for the compliment on the feed.
When attending Matrix classes, I was blown away by the Stuller facility. That's awesome. That Giancarlo? Yeah, it sure is. Hey, yeah, so he came to, if it is who I think it is, he came to Matrix training not too long ago. So yeah, it's good to see you guys are tuning in. Love it. Menard Jewelers.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the setup our competitors are using today? Are these their systems? Did we set them up with systems?
We set them up with systems. So they're all using GymVision approved laptops with the technical
gaming laptops, essentially powerful enough to run the software. Yeah. But in this case, it's really interesting because it does level the playing field a little bit because not everybody's got their quick commands set up yet, or
and
their
that's kind of why we do it.
Yep. Yeah.
We do say like mice you can bring in, which that's you saw the 3D mouse that
we got a 3D mouse user.
Yeah. Pull
is
it
this
up.
Joseph right now?
It is Joseph. Watch.
All right.
Boom.
Okay. Look, we had a designer in the room using a 3D mouse for a while, and that is, for what it is, those of you that never used the 3D mouse, he's using a 3D mouse in conjunction with his traditional mouse, okay?
Ambidextrous.
It is a different way of 3D viewing, and it does, there's a learning curve to it. You could just about roll out of your chair the first time you use it.
That's right, yeah. It's like, let's see, what's a good analogy? Walking whenever you're 9 months old, right? You're like all wobbly,
Yeah.
you know? Like, so I've tried it and I can never get the hang of it. So yeah, that's why I use a traditional mouse. But apparently he loves it. So you can bring your mouse, and then we give him a brief period before it starts to kind of set the UI up. You know, whenever you're more comfortable in the software, whenever the software feels like your own, you're more efficient. So, you know, we don't want to throw too much at them at once, but yeah, we do say mouse, and then the computers are all stock. So,
Andrew Schmidt coming in with a current trending style, that big gem with a micro bezel, and then these support prongs. We've been seeing a lot of that in the industry, and it's cool to see something that we do our back-end research on and design coming out into play in this competition today.
you know what? That would be something cool for the audience to hear. How do you guys identify what goes like on Stuller.com? Is there like market research done? Like,
Yeah,
how
for sure.
How does it go to you guys?
Yeah, so actually the customers are a big part of that too, okay? In the design department, our creative design team is going to be working very closely with our merchandising teams, and all of our product categories have their own merchandising teams. So that relationship is critical.
So like bridal, like all.
Yeah,
all,
bridal, you've got gemstone fashion, metal fashion, men's jewelry, religious, symbolic. You've got anniversary, eternity, traditional wedding bands,
Wow.
and all the different fabrication resources associated with them, whether that be rubber mold, metal mold, digital fabrication, machine tool operations, tool and die striking. So we have all the variety of fabrication resources, but it's all going to come from one core area, and that's new concept, right? And that new concept is going to be looking at trends in the industry, trends in fashion in general. So those merchants and the creative director and all of the creative designers are working very closely to spot trends in the industry, especially in this day and age. We're not about being too reactive, right?
Exactly.
We want to try and make sure that we can provide it for when it's happening, especially for our customers that are seeing these same trends. Now what happens is our customers help in that. They're going to be the ones reaching out, hey, I've been seeing this, I've been seeing permanent jewelry, for example.
And you guys don't have it.
Yeah,
or,
do y'all have that? And we actually look at the trends within our own business. What's doing well on Stuller.com or in the catalog? What do we get a lot of requests for? What is CAM Services doing a lot of one-offs
Custom
of?
mounts, yeah.
Because we don't offer it. But at the end of the day, it really is making sure that we have all of those categories filled so that our customers can provide that to their customers as well.
So jewelry set in stone, why wouldn't he use the image trace? I believe you're going for Joseph. Yeah, he's doing kind of an image trace. Well, Christopher White is as well. So the image trace, we do have a command inside of Matrix called image trace. That will outline an image, a black and white image, very similar to Joseph right there.
Can I take this? I'll tell you
Yeah,
why
sure.
they're not using it. This is my, if I had to go all in, bet on black, okay? Or
Black
bet,
or red? Which one?
Yeah, I'm going to put 500 down on black, okay? I'm going to double down. Here's what I bet, and this is coming from my own world experiences of CAD design, because they didn't know image trace existed yet. Okay? At some point, they learned in a software that didn't have image trace. This is my bet.
Yeah, and they're accustomed
And
to
this is how they've always done it.
Yeah.
And until someone stops them and says, hey, did you know this exists? And that's where the value of going to those upper level training seminars happen. I mean, I'll be honest, watching this live feed right now, is fantastic training for other people watching.
It really is. Yep.
If you do we have anybody out there? How many of y'all actually use image trace, and how many of you just learned about it?
Yeah.
If you could comment in.
I'd be curious to
even
see.
within our team, and this is with you, Bo will come into the design department to help us with a question we're having about whether a tool's working correctly or not, and we'll learn that there's a tool that does exactly what we're asking or trying to you do, not having known it existed until we get that feedback from someone who's so adept with the software.
Yeah, the software is so vast, you know. Even like I said from the beginning, I personally have been in the software 10 years and I learned something new. So it's such a vast software that it's almost impossible to know every single thing. So yes, he said he knows. He knows image
So
trace.
I mean, and he was asking about it. So jewelry set in stone, awesome. Thanks for bringing that up to our attention, and I actually think that's fantastic. And hopefully, for some of you other viewers out there, hearing that it exists is just a wonderful thing for you to then look into.
Yeah, so it looks like we have 108 people. That's pretty good, I would say. You know, for not bad for a...
Well, you tell me what kind of people tune in for a live feed of CAD modeling?
Yeah.
That's CAD people, right? Or maybe people interested in CAD, interested in jewelry. Yeah. So shout out to all of you. Thanks for joining us. There was a time where doing 3D CAD for jewelry seemed a lot more niche than it actually is.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate. You know, there was a time where people were still carving.
Well,
carving wax.
I was just about to bring up the wax carving, and how many wax carvers became 3D CAD designers.
Yeah, I know quite a few actually.
It happened here at Stuller. We did.
Jason Vijay, he was a metal mold, right? Metal mold, kind of, you know.
Yeah,
but
he worked in metal mold, but he was a master bench jeweler as well.
Shout out to CAD CAM department at Stuller. Busy working and watching.
Yes, awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, thank you for watching, and thanks for the shout out to CAD CAM. I am a huge supporter of CAD CAM. I am not in CAD CAM, but I work very closely with you. And I'll tell you this is my opinion of CAD CAM. The Navy SEALs of jewelry.
That's a great analogy. They are very adaptable.
Here's the thing.
Very adaptable.
They do edits, they do modify style, they do one-of-a-kinds, they do kind of skits, they do 3C. But on any given day, they show up to not knowing what is coming.
That's 100% accurate.
It's high urgency, high importance
fast-paced.
Every day.
Yep.
It's very different than new product development, where there's a timeline where you work out in advance and you're developing products.
And you have
based
like
on a
3
trend.
months to get
exactly.
a design done. CAD CAM is like 24
with CAD
hours.
CAM, servicing our customers who need something custom, need it now. That's where that high urgency, high priority. I mean, if you just look at the military, there's Delta Force, Navy SEALs, any of those special force operations where it's always high value, high importance, high urgency. That's your CAD CAM team.
That's a great analogy. You know, I've never really thought about it, but now that you said it, like I'm going to use that in my pitch all the time. Joseph is really coming together quite nicely.
Yeah, we've got some interest on how to join this competition in the future. We've got some CAD users that are super interested.
Yeah, so for 2026, we are planning on having a CAD challenge. So whenever the registration process opens for Bench Jewelers Workshop 2026, be sure to be on the lookout. I can also I'll have to see about this, but what I'm thinking is have Jim Vision YouTube reach out to you and DM you. That way you can we can set a reminder to remind you. So yeah, that would be awesome. Has anybody in the comment section been to a Bench Jewelers Workshop before? That's a good question. Or Bench Jewelers Workshop or Bridge. Let's go there. While we wait on those, Joseph's is really coming together nicely. His is more of a traditional set, you know, in championship style ring, but I love what he did with, you know, the scroll pattern in the background. I think it's going to give a lot of texturing to the backgrounds of those pockets. Personally, I would kind of cut the bottom of that Signet off just to kind of sweep it a little bit better.
Do you know if this originated with one of the Signet builders?
No, he did a curve network.
Curve network, yeah. So, and he may resolve to find resolution a different way at the bottom. You know,
he might be doing it right now. Actually,
can he hear us?
He might have heard me. So the way you cut it is you draw a line like this, trim, mirror. Let's see.
He's coming through.
Let's see. Did I just speak it into existence? Oh, I did. I spoke it into existence, guys.
Oh, awesome. We've got some throwbacks to the in-store show in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And we've got a multiple-time Bench Jewelers Workshop attendee, a bridge attendee from Menard Jewelers. Awesome. Well, thank y'all for coming out. Anytime that y'all visit, we love to see y'all. We go to multiple shows throughout the year as well. We've got the MJSA show.
Yep.
We go to Atlanta. We go to JCK Las Vegas. All of the major shows. I'll just say that. All of the major shows, Stuller's there. And if you're there, come find us.
Yep.
We love to talk to you.
I'm sure one of our guys from Gym Vision will be there. Absolutely, either Carrington or Derek. I know we had Derek on earlier. Derek was talking about the Gravy Boys from Louisiana. Did you read that article?
Is that his band?
No. It's like a group that they put together called the Gravy Boys, where every Thursday they would get together at someone's house and just cook a different gravy. Well, it was on Fox News. It was on Louisiana Magazine, like Louisiana Living Magazine.
That checks out.
It does check. If you guys would know Derek,
I
you
used to live with Derek.
You did?
Yeah.
No.
Well, we shared a room at JCK.
Oh, yeah. Now you guys see why I invited Michael. He's the best, guys. Let me tell you. Need a casting class. Last one showed the Stuller casting process. Yeah. So casting is one of those especially casting resins. You know, it's very, very intricate. Thankfully for us, we had our in-house evil scientist, we call him, Dennis Bugsby, who's just retired recently, but
handed it down. Stuller's casting house is touted as one of the cleanest casting houses, not just in jewelry industry, but in the nation as it is. And it is not without decades of effort. For those of you that have tried to do your own casting, you know that it is very moody. But you fine tune it to your specifications. And I'll tell you, that's the hard thing about casting training, is what scale do you operate at? Do you scale one piece at a time? Do you have, small trees? I think that's the interesting thing about casting, is that it's a difficult process to scale. The way we do it is very specific to how we do it.
To like the seconds of burnouts.
Exactly.
It's incredibly specific.
But what makes that even more interesting is that this is a thousands-year-old art, lost wax casting. This has been going on for as long as humanity has been building things, lost wax casting. So we just try and perfect it for the way we do things. And I'll tell you right now, casting classes aside, you visit Stuller and you will be able to talk to someone who can assist you in your questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We used to do that all the time. Customers used to come for matrix training, and they're like, man, I got a question about resin. Well, I'd get Tanner, or hey, I got a question about casting. Like, can you give me I used to bring them the Buzz all the time. So.
And then we got Sean. Sean will take those questions.
Yeah. Sean. Yeah. Sean is the new casting department director that took over Buzz.
We got the Bridge. Some people have been to Bridge before.
Yeah, bridges are amazing as well. So for those that don't know the difference between a bridge and a bench jeweler's workshop, so your bench jeweler's workshop is going to be more for the back of store. I don't want to say only, because there's a lot.
It's not only, because we still have a lot of our selling solutions here, but the overarching picture is going to be what's going on behind the scenes to get that done. Yeah. Totally. And bridge, like you were saying.
Bridge is more for the front of store kind of. You can attend like a marketing class. You can attend any type of front of store, diamond grading, things like that. So, Bridge is fun as
and
well.
we change it. We change it
We
over
do
the
change
years.
it, yep.
So if you've been to one bridge or one bencher's workshop, you have not been to them all.
That is correct.
And that's something that you can, when the registration's open, we try to give a preview of the different sessions and all of the variety of different things you can do. I'm liking the screens right now. They're unhiding those hidden layers.
Coming
They're
together.
putting things on screen.
So Haven's got something unique going on. Looks like he needs to pull them down a little bit, but he's turning them upside down again. Okay. That's unique. He's all about the upside down stones. That is definitely unique.
Look, and depending on the stone intended to be there, it's an interesting experience on how light hits it,
Yeah. Yeah, normally most stones are cut. That way you have top
It's
viewing.
so it all is it the accent or is it is it an accenting the center? So
Well,
very interesting.
The story was talking about a checker cut, right? So the stone in the middle turned upside down is understandable because it kind of got the checker cut, right? Rose cut, if you will. But those, not sure, but would be interesting to see the final result, right?
We've done cufflinks with upside down channel set square onyx.
My God. Y'all have done them?
It was
Special request?
it was Spectrum Award winner a few years ago.
Oh. That's
It was
amazing.
pearl cufflinks, but it was a halo of upside down. It might have been black diamond actually. And I'm gonna tell you, when it was as opaque as those were, it was quite the look. It was
Sounds beautiful,
Men's
actually.
jewelry, cufflinks. It worked out. Ended up winning, so it's there. It can be used.
Now, onyx are relatively soft, so I guess if they put their arm down, but I mean, at least to my knowledge, but
This is a design competition, but
you can hear the two different
pearl was
aspects
like
of the business between us,
14
right?
millimeters across. Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah, it was large. It was
that's
big.
a big boy. Oh, so part of the story was about a card. Joseph's throwing out the ace of spades. I saw.
So I'm going to tell you the vibe I'm getting. Joseph is definitely leaning into his championship experience.
100%.
Where you're bringing iconography into the story.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look right across to Andrew Schmitz, which is a lot more subtle.
Yeah.
And what I love about this is the same customer could love both, but it's a matter of what the vision is, right?
Yeah, I like Andrew's because he's also reading the story too, because part of the story was to keep it light,
Open
and
and
airy.
airy, yep.
And that's kind of what you see right here, how I'd have to imagine he kind of fills in the spaces with some sort of filigree design or, some sort of engraving work.
How much time they have left?
They have about an hour and 15 minutes,
And
right?
do they know that? I'm just curious.
I think Jacob just told them, maybe. Probably get an hour warning. Yep. Yeah, because he does have a little bit more work ahead of him, to lay out the scroll work and then flow them. Thankfully, his design is symmetric, so all you really have to do is mirror one side over. But yeah, I like his design as well. He's kind of leaning into, I guess, his background, where he sees like hidden halos with prongs coming up probably often nowadays. And he's thrown together a French set, which, French set's always cool to see.
I'm looking at the chat right now. We've got Will Alexander saying he met his wife at Gravy Thursday. A little anecdotal tidbit for you about Stuller.
Yep.
The number of people that met their wife working here
A lot.
is high.
Yep. Tanner,
And-
my counterpart. Tanner, Jason, Will. Well, maybe
And-
not.
And I won't call them out because I don't want to age them.
Yeah.
Okay, but we've got a number of people whose children now work here with them, or in the facility.
Yeah.
So look, it's a family endeavor from the top to the bottom. That's the nature of jewelry, though, right?
Yeah.
That's the history of jewelry.
You're exactly right. It brings people together,
This facility is no different.
No. So I like that he's doing the spade. Right, he brought in another picture, and you're definitely right. He's using a lot of that iconography, where he's pulling icons and just putting them on the sides of signets. He's definitely leaning into that. I'm kind of personally partial to Haven's, though I don't know what he's doing with the upside down stones. I guess maybe he's using it as a bezel set cut, like a fluted bezel. He's going to use those as cutters for fluted bezel.
Yeah, so he's using the gems to place the cutters potentially.
Yeah. If I had to imagine, that's what he's doing. Think of like a watch, right? A lot of times you'll see a fluted bezel around a very expensive watch that we won't name. Haven, yep. So there you go.
And the interesting thing about watching this design process live is we may end up seeing some ideas go bye-bye.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, this is part of the design process that we normally don't get a view in,
That's
right?
true.
When you're doing it yourself, you know exactly, and there's I had a designer who would always say, I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
Like, please don't look at my screen right now. Okay.
That's funny. Look, see? That's pretty much what he's doing. If I had to imagine. I can't imagine he's going to set stones upside down up there. But yeah, you are right. I've never competed in the design competition, but I imagine you're like, ooh, let's try that. Oh no, it doesn't look good. Let's change directions here. So.
And shout out to Haven for potentially trying something he's never done before.
Yeah.
I'm not assuming.
All about experiencing.
There is that risk factor of as he's designing as he goes, and I think that's commendable, especially for anybody trying something new live on the fly.
Yeah. I like the ovals. Ovals are popular nowadays. Joseph's putting those cards, the card icons down at the bottom. That's pretty neat. I personally, he's enameling them too.
Something, yeah, he's calling them out. And I was, earlier when you were helping with the tech, it looks like Joseph is using his layering system a little differently than the rest of the competitors. And I do believe he's using it as his own visual on the two-tone request. He'd been previewing it occasionally in rendered mode. So
Gotcha. Yeah, that's something cool to kind of talk about too. So within Matrix Gold, there's tons of display modes that you can visualize your model in different themes, if you will. So there's a rendering display mode that you can see all the materials that have been applied. There's a tech drawing, which I use. Funny story, I used Matrix Gold to design my laundry room cabinet.
Oh, absolutely.
So I used the technical drawing to go ahead and do that, and that was pretty neat. But there's also a ray tracing one, which does an actual render, and there's one for pretty much anything you need. So
careful with ray trace. Once you discover that,
I know
it's too easy to just keep using it sometimes.
Yeah, and inside of our level 2 curriculum, I think we actually touch on that ray tracing display mode, just because that's how you do a render preview, nowadays in Matrix.
If I have to me, ray tracing is absolutely that it's showing off your hard work.
Yeah.
Whether it be halfway through or not, it just gives you a visualization that sometimes is lost in the green and purple.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point too, because I know I've talked to a few jewelers, and they're like, hey, can we get more lifelike designs? This is before they come to training, stuff like that. More lifelike coloring. And it's like, well, all you have to do is hit the display modes. I think it might have been Monica, actually. And she was like, yeah, because a customer came in and saw that green, and she didn't like that green, so that's what display modes are for, and rendering.
With the display modes, and this is what's beautiful about it, is as far as you want to take them, they will go.
Yeah.
I can tell you, take the number of display modes that are given to me when the software starts, I have doubled by creating my own.
Yep.
I'll have
Mad caps.
Yep, I'll have lights on, I'll have lines on, no curves. I'll have silhouette only. I'll have it render because there's different reasons you want to do different things, and at the same time, I just discover the ones that work best for how I'm displaying it to specific customers or merchants.
That's right. Yeah, because you can create your own. Inside the software, there's tons of different geometry types. Curves, surfaces, NURB objects, meshes, and each display mode you can turn those on, turn those off, things like that. How do you recommend learning 3D
ClayU?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so ClayU is one of the organic modeling plugins for Matrix Gold. So I don't know if you are on the Matrix Gold Academy, which is our website, where we post all of our tutorial videos. On there, we have tons of ClayU content. I definitely recommend going there. But another way would be just to open it and click around. Honestly, that's how I've learned a lot of things. So just to kind of, I guess, reiterate, ClayU's a organic modeling tool that subdivides, and there's other aspects of ClayU.
Yep.
But it essentially takes an object that subdivides it into multiple different pieces. And using selection, using MSR, move, scale, rotate, you can adjust.
And I have to tell you, ClayU is fantastic. You get a user interface in there. You can combine the ClayU user interface with Rhino Sub-D tools as well, if you go in that branch. And whether it be ClayU or Rhino Sub-D, definitely work your way onto the training platforms that GemVision has.
For sure.
The GemVision forum is going to have super eager people.
That's a good call out too.
So get to the forum, ask that same question. Literally copy, paste in the forum, and you're going to get people who live and die by ClayU.
For sure.
Jumping in to just share how much they like it. But I also mean, just in terms of splines modeling, subdivisional modeling, I should say, there's a whole range that you can take it to. YouTube does have Rhino Sub-D lessons in there.
And if you know Sub-D, ClayU won't be hard, let's say that. It's all about UI differences, but the actual workflow inside the modeling is pretty much the same. So, but yeah, that's a good call out on the GemVision forum. A lot of customers aren't, aware that we have the GemVision forum nowadays because our legacy one had to be closed. But if you go to forumgemvision.com, you can register if you have a software license. So.
Hey, Bo, are you on the forum?
I am on the forum.
Guess what? I'm on the forum too.
You're on the forum, man.
So those are the kind of questions you ask on the forum, and
you'll be there.
You don't just get a couple answers.
No,
you get answers.
You'll get
from
screenshots.
The best of the
You'll get
right?
step by steps. Yep.
No, this is fantastic. We like to hear from we like the forum because then we get the feedback that we need as we move forward in developing the software.
Exactly. Yep. That's one of our main touch points. I mean, we're also on all the other social medias as well, but the main touch point for us is going to be that GemVision forum because it gives you guys one-on-one access to us, as well as hey, I've been modeling here and this would be helpful to me. Can you guys implement it? Oh yeah, let's take it back.
It lends itself to sharing a little bit too.
Exactly.
That I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't feel necessarily comfortable in putting files on social media.
Or email addresses.
Exactly.
Things like that. So, but yeah, if you do have Matrix Gold and ClayU, the online academy and GemVision forum would be my first stop for you. ZBrush, some years ago, do modeling with ZBrush. ZBrush is extremely powerful. So, do you know any ZBrush?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
a little bit.
ZBrush is another tool for us in the design department. 99% of everything we produce is going to come from Matrix Gold.
Yep.
And then occasionally you get asked to do a sculptural medal of St. Christopher carrying Jesus on his shoulder.
Yeah. You're like, oh, okay.
So, and I'll tell you what we do actually, and this is a testament to the flexibility in just different tool sets. We will actually build out the
base.
I'm going to call it the the blob of shapes.
Yeah.
In
Matrix Gold or
Matrix
CAD
Gold.
software.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Then
you could
export,
do it with sweeps, Clay U, where you can push and pull, all of those different things. You just get it shaped out, and then we transition to a ZBrush and start sculpting the face, the eyes, the hair, all those things.
That's
But
exactly.
similarly, Similarly, we have some associates that actually do go to that level in subdivision modeling in Matrix Gold.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we had Derek Pinto. Derek,
Yep.
Definitely one of those. Do we offer access to just Clay U portions of the training? So if you have a Matrix Gold license, more than likely you got an access code. If you just have Clay U, you just why don't you give us an email and then we can look into it. Training, training @gymvision.com. Just shoot us an email and we can look into that for you. I think that'd probably be the best option. So, but yeah, while Michael was talking about exporting the blob, that used to be one of our processes in CAD CAM because while Michael was in product design and development, I was in CAD CAM sketch team, and we used ZBrush as well, but not as often as you would think. But when we did, we would export blobs, and there was a mermaid ring that I was showing that I personally designed. So, but good segue here, talking about Clay U. So inside of Clay U is comprised of 3 separate tool sets. So you have the Subd, which is the subdivisional modeling that Michael was talking about. Then you have the emboss tool. So emboss would actually be good for something that Joseph's doing where you feed it an image, right? And then you trace the image and then you can extrude it. For some of our legacy customers that are familiar with matrix art in legacy softwares, that it's very similar, very akin to it, works off of layer system. So could definitely do it using emboss, but also the third tool set is called Sculpt, right? So Sculpt is, I don't want to say it's exactly like ZBrush because ZBrush is super powerful, right? They developed exclusively for that voxel style modeling, but inside Clay U we have kind of like a light version of that you can sculpt using. Which I do it quite often as well. So, how many watchers do we have? Nice, that's good. Well, welcome everyone. For those that are just joining, my name is Bo Vallo. Work with Gymvision and the software, and I have Mr. Michael Bartlett with me.
how you doing, everybody?
He's from the product design and development.
All right.
I think that's the 1 hour mark, right?
And we've got the last tour of the day getting ready to leave the
Is that you?
station. No, that's not me. I gave tours earlier today.
Nice.
Yeah, tour the facility, see what we do, see how we do it, see
Michael's
why we
an
do it.
expert tour giver.
Tour guide, that's me.
Amazing.
Look, this is a building of nothing but knowledge that people try to share, and
Yep.
I've happened to absorb some of that so I can share it to the customers.
That's a great point. Yep. So is Juan? Juan.
Hey, listen up, everybody. We've got the Battle of the Benches CAD design competition going on right now. We've got a variety of competitions going on right now, but I got to let you know that the winners will be announced Saturday night, and it's going to be posted on Stuller Bench Jewelers Instagram. So check out the Instagram, check out the winners, see how they did, where they landed, and make sure you check it out. Leave some comments, cheer them on, those that do super cool stuff.
Yeah, it'll also be on Gymvision's Instagram too. So like, comment, subscribe. So I'm gonna put Juan sitting real quick just so I can go run and help something, and I will be right back.
We've got our Parts and Pieces Challenge, which is also sponsored by Grobe USA, and that is going to be tomorrow from 9:30 to 4:30, so it's all day. So this is going to be a Parts and Pieces Challenge where we're actually going to supply some findings, some scrap, some random stones potentially to our jewelers, and they're going to have to build something out of it. And they're going to get a prompt as well. So it's going to be a similar hypothetical customer, and they're going to have to take some of those pieces and parts that we supply to them. You know, it's just like if you could imagine a customer coming into your store and saying, look, I have this old jewelry, I have these old pieces that broke apart, I mean, I got some loose stones. Could you make me a new pendant out of it? But they're going to be working that competition out tomorrow, and that's going to be the other side of this world of jewelry and designing product, and it's going to be working with their hands, working at the bench. We got a self-taught CAD designer. Awesome. Shout out. Hey, look, that's the way it is. Learning a new language, you go to the country, you live there for a little while, and that's the best way to do it. And I'm going to tell you right now, learning CAD happens most often from being in the CAD. It's very daunting. Michael reached out just now, told us that he's a self-taught CAD designer. And so thank you for sharing that with us. That's awesome. Oh, and you're learning. Great. That's great. I went to school, and when I was in school, I was learning rhinoceros. And actually, I've got Joanne here, who's joining us on the podcast now for a little bit. I'm going to let him talk a little bit about that as well. But I came from a rhino background, but I didn't learn CAD until I started using it every day for my job. And that's a fantastic thing. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce Joanne here, who's visiting us from Spain. And he can tell you a little bit about his CAD background and how he got to where he is. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Michael. So same as you, I started with Rhino. I'm pretty sure it was Rhino 3. Funny story here, I got Rhino as a Christmas present from my dad, who's also a jeweler. I didn't like it at first because as every other 15-year-old kid, you're expecting a video game or something fun. But I got into it. I got as well, I think it was Flamingo, which was one of the first rendering engines. Mm-hmm. Super basic. Took me a while to get into it because, of course, I didn't want to use it. But I eventually got into it, and I started making, super simple jewelry, like pendants and solitaire rings. And at some point, I had to do some proper jewelry, so I had to start working for my dad, making jewelry. And it was a bit of a learning curve, but because I started young, I managed to, get into it and be proficient with it with time. And then I transitioned into other software, which was more specific for jewelry, because at some point you're gonna end up needing, gemstone finger sizes and other tools that it really, really makes your workflow much easier. It really makes all the modeling process easier. And then transitioned into other software, and I eventually got into Matrix Gold today. So my background is purely Rhino. But few people here that I talk to in this event, they come from other softwares like Blender, open source, or any other jewelry specific or non-jewelry specific software. And it's interesting to see all the different backgrounds that we can have here.
And that's one of the special things about the jewelry industry, and especially 3D modeling, CAD design, is that any variety of backgrounds somehow finds us all here together. I can tell you from the design room in product design here at Stuller, we've got backgrounds of people who did design work for the military. We've got illustrators that were just straight artists that found their way into jewelry. We've got a professional ballerina that had a creativity at her core, went and then ended up going to school for industrial design, similar to me, and found her way to Stuller. I mean, architect, so the backgrounds are all just where you find that interest in, I think, the process of creating something in 3D space, being creative. And then the next thing you know, we all discover a means, some way, of producing jewelry and fall in love with it. The competitors have about an hour left to wrap everything up. So I think we're going to see a variety of really cranking in that design time and trying to get it exactly where they need it, and also fine-tuning. I think at this point it looks like Joseph is pretty far along in terms of the overall structure. Similarly with Christopher, Andrew's building it out. And once Haven zooms out, yep, so Haven's got a little bit of a render view going on just so you can preview what it might or might not look like once he gets a final render. Very interesting stuff. And again, we're watching the design process, so it's going to be very interesting to see what it actually lands on as a final design presentation. Look, we've got a machinist. Thank you for charging in the Cajun card. We've got a machinist background, and that's one thing. You're learning CNC programming and really about writing tool paths, and then backstep from that into the CAD side of things, and we've got a machinist who found his way to jewelry design. So
you can see he made some custom stunting down the side. It's nearly finished actually.
thank you for jumping, Joanne. I'm going to be handing over the mic now to Bo Vallow. He's back. And we're just taking turns rotating in and out. It's been a pleasure talking with all of you. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the show. This is Michael Bartlett from Stuller, and thank you all for being a part of the Stuller family. Hopefully anytime you come to an event, look out for us, ask us all the questions. In case you can't tell, we like to talk about jewelry, okay? So y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Michael.
All right.
Bo's back with us now.
Yeah, sorry, I had a technical issue upstairs we had to run to, but man, Michael's good, didn't he?
Yeah.
It just comes so natural to me. Like, I want to be that guy. The rest of us have to work for it, Brandon.
He's great.
So, do you have a chance during your stay to chat with Michael?
A little bit, yeah. I visited his department, I think it was yesterday. Yeah,
Satin product design development.
exactly, yeah. That was quite interesting, yeah.
He's good, man. He's so good. He's very artistic too. That's one thing. When you meet him, you wouldn't pull that, but we do like art competitions every now and then for like artwork that gets posted around the building, and he'll draw this astounding like soldier tribute. It's amazing. So yeah, it looks like a lot of the designs are coming together. Haven's doing something awesome with his geometric patterns.
Yeah, that pattern looks quite nice.
Yeah. He looks like he drew the outline, projected it, and then trimmed the surfaces behind it, which is pretty neat workflow. He definitely took the story to heart because part of it was he wanted an airy, open design.
Yeah.
So that'll definitely help him in the long run. While I was upstairs helping, I did notice a lot of our developers were actually watching this, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Also told Tanner's presenting. Tanner's my counterpart. So whenever he's done, he's going to come down here and check out what we're doing, hop on the live stream. Looks like Chris finally put all of his stuff together too, which is quite nice. Chris, I'd love to go visit him someday. Man, his house is on the beach, Florida, white sand. Oh. We actually go to Florida and Destin every year, once a year, as a vacation, but
Nice.
he gets to live there. And, some people are just lucky, I guess.
I wonder what Joseph Khalil is doing right now. Is he doing like a check for the geometry?
Ah.
That's clever to take into consideration the manufacturing side of things. So
Yeah, you are right. So kind of what we were talking to earlier, sometimes you'll have those open surfaces or open seams, and the check geometry tool or the mesh repair tool also will sometimes check it to make sure you have no naked edges, which are edges that aren't joined together or touching. So yeah, that's definitely awesome that he's taken that into consideration.
yeah, something worth mentioning at this stage, now that you mentioned this, Bo, there's a new tool in the 3.8 version called Ring Wrap. So for those of you that are new, it's basically a tool that would allow you to join everything together. So you no longer need to worry about naked edges or any kind of geometry. You can basically join surfaces, meshes, sub-D, everything at once, and it will create a closed object. So that's something quite clever to consider, especially when it comes to 3D printing. So you can just link up, join everything at once, and it's done.
Yeah,
So,
that's absolutely right too. Looks like the Cajun card. I was a machinist. You'd be surprised how much CNC programming ties over to jewelry CAD. Andre Babbitt. Andre, you were supposed to join me. Where are you at? Andre's part of our CAD CAM team.
Yeah.
I believe he's assistant manager of CAD CAM. So
come over.
yeah, if you're over there in the dark, come to the light. We'll get you on. Talk about some Rhino scripting things you're doing. Maybe some AI Rhino scripting things. Buzzword. I do like that Haven's doing a fillet. So, well, no, he's not doing a fillet. I thought he was filling it, but he's chamfering. So you can see all those edges, all those sharp edges. If you're a caster, right, you're like, I do not like those sharp edges. So what he's doing is chamfering, right? So that way they cast a little bit better. Now, that design is still pretty sharp, right? And if you can think about it in the reverse, whenever you print this and then you put it into the investment, right, and it burns out, those sharp edges of investment are prone to breaking off and relocating. So that's kind of why he's going through this and chamfering.
Yeah, like you mentioned this is important, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see also sometimes depending on the radius that you chamfer, they sometimes fail. It's part of the filleting and chamfering system. It just happens. So you either have to go smaller. You see he's doing 0.1 radius. So you either have to go smaller or figure out how to do it a different way in the surface. So tell me about the jewelry over in Barcelona. Is it very similar to the American style jewelry? Is it?
I would say it's slightly different. Like, for example, something that it's quite particular in the US is like the alloys. Like 14 karat gold is not something popular in Spain, I would say. Now it is now because, gold prices have increased. So,
Yeah.
18,
So is it all 18?
Yeah, so 18 it's got quite expensive. So 14 is becoming an option. In terms of designs, I would say we don't use as much diamonds as you guys use here.
Yeah. A lot of solitaire mountings.
A lot of solitaire mountings, and but now it's changing now with lap diamonds because they're more affordable now. So lap diamonds are on the rise.
Yep.
And it's interesting now because you could see that designs are changing. So
Yeah, as the stones get bigger, lab growns have overcome the market, so designs probably adapt as well. So that's awesome to see. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I'll give TIJT a shout out. So that, for those of you that aren't aware, Matrix Gold, we partner with certain educational institutions around the U.S. So I believe we have 12 or 13 different institutions, university, higher ed institutions like Parish Junior College, New Approach, a few others that actually teach Matrix Gold. So you can go there for a little bit of time and then learn Matrix Gold. If coming to Stuller and GenVision for professional training aren't feasible. So
that makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, they teach Matrix Gold in a classroom setting, semester setting, depending on if it's a university or a trade school. But yeah, we think it's really important, to empower the industry with the tools that we've created. So they're here. Also, KU or UK, no, KU, Kansas University of Kansas. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. That's their mascot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
We don't get that in Europe.
they're here as well. You guys don't have mascots of?
It's not such a thing. I mean, I think that a few teams have it, but it's not such as popular as here.
Oh no, every sports team has a mascot down here. So
It looks kind of fun, yeah.
yeah, it is fun. Like I went to LSU, Louisiana State University, and we're the Tigers, right? So I also went to UL as well. So they are the Raging Cajuns.
Wow, sounds impressive.
Fitting narrative, right? Yep. But hopefully, some people in the chat, come down to Ben Stiller's workshop. These events are super fun. If you're first time tuning in, we love as a Louisiana-born, native. We love having people come into our house. We're very hospitable.
Absolutely, yeah.
This was Juan's first trip to Louisiana, so we overfed him as a good Cajun should.
Absolutely, yeah.
You ate a lot?
I'm still digesting yesterday's lunch.
Yeah.
So, I must say I really enjoyed the food. So
Yeah, yesterday we went to Blanchard's Barbecue. Very, very good barbecue.
Yeah.
If you're in the Lafayette area. This is not a paid promotion, but Blanchard's is very good.
Well, it could be. I mean, they could pay
It could be. So, my wife is still tuning in. Apparently, she's texting me, "Doing great, baby." So yeah. Back to the designs, though. Looks like Andrew Schmidt. If you want to pull him up, Brendan. So yeah, you can see what he's doing is a object on curve. So he has taken his ring rail and used the object on curve command, which will allow him to put this kind of 3-leaf pattern as kind of an inlay design, right? Looks like he needs to center it a little bit better, which he just did. Glad he did that.
Also, if you notice, he has been playing with the dynamic commands. Like, I would say most users tend to leave it as all on the radio button there. That he's using selected, which is interesting. It's something that opens possibilities. Sometimes it makes the workflow easier. But looking good. He's been flowing it, and looks like he's going to make a mirror now.
Yep. So he's taking that pattern and getting it over to the other side to make it symmetrical. So that's a good, call out too. Inside of the object on curve library, there's tons of different elements that you can use, to put on any curve. So the common practice of that would be to, create the base model, whether it's NURBS or whatever the NURB model would be. Extract an isocurve. That's a way of, you see those lines kind of at the bottom. It's a way of pulling those lines out of the model, and then you can object on curve, right, and choose any one of those parametric objects. And then if the surface opens up or surface shrinks, right, those objects would move with the surface.
And also, it's relatively easy. Well, it's actually really easy to create your own components and add them to the library. So.
Yeah.
You have, you have a model that you make quite often. You can have your safe models, safe components in there, in your own library, and every single time that you're going to use them, just use it. It's as easy as just click on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we actually teach that in our level 3 curriculum, where you can create your own models. You can do. Is there a link for the list of schools? There is a list. If you go to gymvision.com under the Matrix Gold section, you will see training, and then under that training you can go down to the educational partners and it will live there. Zach said, "Go Tigers, go Tigers." Yeah, go Cajuns, Will said. Having a little Louisiana rivalry in the chat.
Let's check out what Joseph Khalil is doing right now. He copied the ring a couple of times. I'm not sure what he's intending to.
He's doing a render right now. So you can see this is probably part of his workflow because he works with championship designs, right? So he's laying out the left and right side so he can grab a render. But I guess that's really cool for you guys to see, his workflow as a render. So he's going to be, looks like he already applied the materials to it. So all he would need to do is apply a general style and then hit the render button. See, and this is pretty cool that he's doing this, because this is something that I do as well. So whenever you lay out a render, like most renders are just, you know, typical, hey, here's the ring standing up. I personally like to lay mine down just because it's not a very natural pose for a ring to be standing, right? All right, looks like we got the man, the myth, the legend coming up. I said that like 4 times for 4 different people.
Well,
let's see.
He's got
yeah, he may be coming
right now, but he's gonna come over.
We got my counterpart here for Gym Vision training. So yeah, he's laying them out in a way to render them, I would suspect.
Could be a good option to group.
It would be, absolutely.
It would have been a good option to just group the ring before copying it. But
yes.
he's gonna get that.
Yeah, grouping is, especially when you're dealing with all these different layers, right? Selecting them and grouping them together into a single selection. That way you don't have to worry about a little, you know, piece of geometry flying off or getting lost. Oh, he's doing 4. Wow. And if we can go to Andrews is really, really pretty cool too. I like what he's done. So he's kind of took a non-traditional approach, you know, to a signet ring. So he read the assignment where it said open, airy, you know, but he filled it in. I wish we could take a screen and show it, but he filled it in with some ovals and other heads, which would definitely be a showstopper. So
now we can see how he's combining 2 different parametric commands. So he's using bend and polar array. So for those of you who don't know, just by using bend on the first component, everything will update.
Yep.
Because it's parametric.
And that's kind of the real power of parametrics, you know, the ability to adjust and, you know, change things and only update one thing, and the rest will follow. So, looks like Chris's is finally coming together. That's pretty cool. So yeah, they got, let's see, how much? About 30 more minutes. So they're putting their final touches on.
We're just calling Tanner out.
Yeah.
He's shy.
Go tell him he's got to do Gym Vision work, not tools. No. But yeah, the Chris is finally coming together. So he's got the moon and the Turkish flag on the side. And then on the other side, I wish I could see, but he did have a star. So he definitely read, you know, the story as well. So the customer had some ovals and marquees, right? Oh, there he is. There he is.
Right. Okay.
All right.
So I'm gonna
well, thanks for joining us, Joan.
So it's been a pleasure. All right, you're next.
All right. So I'm joined by my counterpart, Mr. Tanner Jeffries, right?
Hey guys, I finally was able to attend this. I was supposed to be here earlier, but I was doing a digital manufacturing presentation, going over everything that we offer 3D printing wise, and what resins you should be using with your 3D printers. So I was doing that for a couple hours, but now I'm here to see what's going on.
Yeah.
What do we have here, Bo?
So we have these 4 contestants. But first, before we get into that, tell us a little bit about you, your background, and your day-to-day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. So I've been with Stuller for about 8 years. I started off in the CAD CAM department. At first, I was supporting every 3D piece that would come to our manufacturing. So I would be adding on those little support pylons that you guys see on those parts. So it's been there a couple years. From there, I went to the model department where I grew all of our new product. So I had a little fleet of Asigas, and I'd be growing about 80 parts a day. Did that for a couple years. From there, I went to the R&D department where I was perfecting our resin printer combination. And then from there, I kind of got the idea of using Asiga and SureCast together. Yeah. You heard of SureCast before?
Yeah.
That's a resin that we use here, that we sell here.
SureCast is important, right? It's very castable and printable, so
staple.
Yep.
You also don't have to put a barrier coat on there, so that's very nice. Barrier coating, like ProCAD, that's expensive. You don't want to do that. So did that for a few years. From there, I went to the Tools Tech team where I traveled a lot, did a lot of RJO shows, sold a lot of engravers, welders, printers, anything you can think of. Did that for a few years, and then something happened. Some guy named Bo Vallow messaged me to join his team about a year and a half ago.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. So now I am fortunate enough to have this role in GenVision as a trainer. So I'm an instructor of Matrix Gold and Countersketch.
Yeah.
So if you guys were to take a level 1 class for Matrix Gold, you have me. If you have anything with Countersketch, it's going to be me. If you go to the academy, you'll probably hear my voice a lot. It's not a good sounding voice, but you'll definitely hear it.
No, he beats himself up. But I think nobody likes the sound of their own voice, right?
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
It's horrific.
Yeah. So.
Thank you. Brandon said we sound great, so I'm going to take that.
Yeah, I'll take it. Take it where I can get it. So,
okay, so
Tanner probably has inside the building, if not one of the biggest knowledge bases of 3D printing and supporting. So ask him to join us because he'll beat you black and blue with printer knowledge. It's amazing how much he knows.
We'll definitely nerd out over 3D printing. And it's getting better these days. I know you guys are looking at the hobbyist printers like the Elegoo's, the Frozens, and that technology is really coming along. Also, a little shout out to Bluecast. I see you guys out there. It's good stuff. So you can get into printing pretty cheap. The entry level of printing is about $500 these days. I'd always recommend you guys go for the hobbyist route. See if that is your flow. If it's not your flow, go to a professional grade printer like the B9 or the Seago.
Yeah.
Different technology, man.
Kind of more professional, but
it is.
The Elegoo is, the Elegoo is a cheap hobbyist printer, but, you can always, what? Sponsored? Yeah.
Yeah, this is, it's sponsored by Asiga, believe it or not.
Yep.
Great brand, out of Australia, open source printers. We use it here. If you guys are wondering, we use a Pro 4K, which is a bigger version of it. You can grow 100 rings at a time. You're probably thinking, why would I ever want to do that? I'm a mom and pop store. But you can also grow bangles and bracelets, which is also just as important.
And belt buckles.
And belt buckles, can't forget about those.
A lot of Texas customers here. A lot of belt buckles.
Yes, sir.
So
absolutely.
When you're looking at these, right, these 4, which one sticks out to you?
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say that Joseph, his probably sticks out the most to me. Now, this is just from what I see, but his looks polished, it looks refined, almost like he's finished by now.
Yeah.
Is he done?
I think he's done.
Yeah,
I think he is, because what he's doing right now is rendering,
yes,
right? So he's
absolutely.
setting up for his render.
Him and Andrew are both in the rendering stage right now. So how much time do they have left, though?
They have 30 minutes.
They have 30 minutes? Okay, so everyone's wrapping up. Okay.
Yep.
So Haven Honeycutt, let's see what he has. So his prongs are tall. I don't know if that's intentional. I'm going to guess no.
No, I don't. So he's doing something unique here. He took his stones, his milligems, and flipped them upside
I see this.
down.
Culets are facing the people.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a self-defense ring? This is what he's going for? Maybe like a weaponized ring.
May need to protect yourself with the ring.
Yeah. Okay, so he's trying to find right now what prong depth he wants to go for on these stones.
Yeah.
He's thinking about it a lot. He might be asking for assistance.
What he's doing is a little bit different, right? So he flipped them up, so his prong placer is upside down. So he's using his prong depth as his prong height.
That's crazy. I don't think I've ever seen it before, Bo.
Me either.
I'll go ahead and say that. I've never seen it before. Do I respect it? Yes. I've never seen it.
And that kind of goes to show you can do anything you want to do in Matrix Gold.
You definitely can. Yeah.
So
Perry's Diamonds. Big shout out to you for this awesome ring you are supplying for the viewers.
It's pretty cool too because he's got a lot of geometric sides, open areas. Pretty neat. Actually.
Look at this. It looks like this ring was like a Nickelodeon ring. I don't know. Like he has all these cutouts in there.
Yeah. So part of the design, the design story was open, airy, geometric shapes, right? And I think he nailed the design. So
yeah, it's definitely going to be easy to clean these out with an ultrasonic or a steamer for sure on this one. A lot of big pilot hole space.
Yeah.
So looking at Joseph's, he has like the poker, like the club, the spade, the diamond, the hearts. Do you see that?
Yeah. Part of the design story was he wants to show it off at card games. So look, boom, got it right underneath.
You can
personally,
everything with that.
You know, he comes from a championship ring background, but part of the design story was he didn't want to break the bank in gold weight, and you know, without him hollowing that out, I think it would be a little bit on the heavy side. But you know, to each their own. So I personally would have liked to see maybe a hollow out with those, you know, 4 icons. We got an audience here, people.
We do have an audience. We have Mr. Derek Savoy watching us talk right now.
Yeah, he came on here, told him about Gravy Thursdays.
Gravy Thursdays.
Yep.
Never been part of it. Never been invited to it. I'd like to see that though.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we can join the Gravy Boys.
Oh, we got a good question. Is AI going to be incorporated into Matrix Build in the future?
Great question.
Well, we are contemplating that. We're, you know, throwing things around to see what sticks. But yeah, you know, I think AI is a really big buzzword right now, and it's very important to be on, you know, the cutting edge of things, and that's kind of what Stuller's, you know, built its brand off of.
Do you know what I'd like to see?
What's that?
I'd like to see an AI chatbot. You have it in Matrix Gold in the viewport.
Ooh.
You ask this chatbot, hey, how tall should my prongs be? What width should my shank be? And this chatbot in AI will tell you the dimensions of this manufacturing.
That's kind of nice.
You know what I mean?
So like, hey, if I want to cast, you know, this stone, how tall should my prongs be for a 2mm diamond?
Absolutely.
I like that.
How much metal am I going to lose from polishing typically? Stuff like that. And this AI chatbot could probably just respond back to you and give you a range to work off of. That way, you know the tolerances that you have to build your pieces to, right?
I like
I'd rather
that.
have too much metal than too little metal.
Yeah, because like what we use currently are the CAD CAM production standards. It's a document. Great document.
It's fantastic.
If you guys want to find it, it's over on Stuller.com via CAD CAM services. If you're logged in, then you can go all the way down to the bottom, and there's a production standards link right there. It's a great document, but it'll give you all that information, you know, but you have to read, you know.
Yeah, and no one likes to read. Good thing it has all the photos in there, because if it didn't have the photos, I don't think I'd ever look at that document. But with an AI chatbot, answer my questions immediately.
That sounds pretty nice.
Don't have to pull up any PDFs.
Let's see. I've been using Bluecast X1, and it worked great. Bluecast
Yeah, you know what?
X1's good.
Yeah, big shout to Bluecast right now. They're killing
doing
it.
good things.
If you guys go to the Facebook and you type in 3D manufacturing, 3D printing and digital manufacturing, you'll find a great group where people will post their printer and resin combinations, and Bluecast is probably the #1 post you see on there. Almost everyone is using it these days. Now, we use Stuller Surecast, but that's because it's more compatible with these DLP printers. But if you're using the LCD, which is like the Elegoo, the Frozens and Crealities, you're probably going to be using Bluecast at first, because they cater their resins for these LCD printers, and that's not something that Surecast really does that well. You know, we're more for the DLP printers.
Now, if a customer's curious about a DLP or SLA, like what's the difference?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So a DLP printer, that's using a projector, okay? So when you're using a projector, one, it's further away from the resin vat. When you're further away from the resin vat, you can usually get higher definition, so you're using lower microns. You know, each projector has a native XY pixel resolution. When you go with these DLPs, they're pretty low, and you need low for jewelry. Not a lot of printing companies make printers for jewelry, so that's why you want to get as low as you can. That way you can actually see your mill grade, see your pilot holes, and you can see every design that you make on your rings. Printing jewelry is probably one of the hardest things ever. When people buy these little hobbyist printers, they're printing like Warhammer figurines.
Yeah.
These little things for
Much
their desk.
larger things.
Yeah, they're not considering pilot holes or mill grain and stuff like that, or French set prongs and how big is the whale tail on those. So, you know, when you're working with a DLP, you're more accurate. LCD is your phone screen. Your phone screen is using the LCD source. So for one, your LCD is going to be right below the resin vat. It sits underneath there directly, but the pixels aren't as powerful as a DLP projector, okay? So when you work with an LCD, one, it's not as strong. Two, your pixels blow out quite often. You are replacing those pixels kind of a lot, in my opinion. I've replaced them a lot with my experience with resins. But that's kind of the fun with it too.
Yeah.
It's a segue, it's a gateway. You do LCD first, if you like it, then you kind of hop over to DLP.
Yep.
Now the interesting one is when you get to the wax jet printing. I can talk about that for hours. I love that wax jet printing.
What's wax jet?
Yeah, you ever heard of Solidskate?
I have.
Yeah, you have? Okay, that's good stuff, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, it was good stuff. Now it's moving over to better stuff, okay?
Yeah.
So when you have these hot end extruders, for one, you have two different wax materials. You have a material wax, you have a support wax, okay? So with that, you get to skip the supporting step. There's no supporting, okay?
That's nice.
Your mind's blown.
So you don't support at all.
You don't support at all.
There's two separate materials, and one, I guess, melts at a lower temperature?
My friend, what this does is it encases your piece in the support wax. The support wax is going to be white. Then you'll have the ring underneath it. What you do is you take this ball, you put it in a juice. This juice will remove the support wax, and then you're left with 100% pure wax part.
Oof. Now, and we know wax casts.
Wax is the best casting you ever want in your life, right? But even there's some downsides, right? Your definition's only as good as a nozzle size, okay? So the nozzle size can get pretty small, but it's not as small as a micron from a light source. So that's where DLP beats it. DLP beats it as it's more accurate. But when you're talking about wax jet printing, you will have some rough edges, but your castings are gonna be great, and your supporting skills are not needed there.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. It does it for you.
Learning supporting is a whole nother animal
form.
Also. Yep.
And if you want to learn it, you can go to gemvisionacademy.com where we can teach you how to support. If that's not good for you, book a 101. Me or Bo will teach you how to support.
Yep.
That's fine.
101s are extremely popular too. So a 101 is you essentially buy an hour of Tanner and I's time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we will teach whatever you want.
Anything. That ring from Pinterest you've been looking at for a week, I'll teach you how to make that.
Yep.
That doesn't bother me.
I need to learn how to print. Will you teach me that?
Teach you that 6 times.
Yep.
Whatever you need. And we do a lot of those, so that's probably the most popular thing right now. And I say Pinterest, but it's a lot of the stuff is from Pinterest these days, and that's fine.
Yep. Anycast has great product. Hey, Bo. Hey, Tanner.
Hey, what's up?
Michelle.
That's awesome. Moopy, as people might know her by. Yeah, big
AKA.
Mm-hmm.
So, checking on Chris right here real quick. He's using a really neat, really neat command. He just completed it as I called him out, but he was using what's called a gem on surface command. So
yes,
this, my friends, is extremely powerful. So any surface inside a matrix gold, you can put a gem of any size on it. Using that command, you can select it. It'll put a gem on. You can use the handles to scale up, scale down. Also has a setting tolerance. So let's say I want my gems, 0.15 millimeters away from each other. Well, there's an offset curve that you can. Yep. There's an offset curve that you can, make sure they're not too close together.
Now, Bo, I'm going to ask you this, but this was definitely made with Curve Network, right?
So, Joseph's was. Yep.
Joseph did the Curve Network.
Joseph did the Curve Network.
Impressive.
Chris actually used the Signet Builder, which is also a good option.
Yeah, great option.
Andrew Schmidt did the Builder as well, and I think Haven did Curve Network.
So we have 2 Curve Network and we have 2 builders here.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll see how they stack up together.
I love what Joseph's doing right here, too. So,
he's built different right now. He's going to a different mode. Look at, he has multiple views of this.
He's going into Rhino materials panel and applying.
It's almost unfair what he's doing.
So he's applying different materials, right? And those are coming through in the render. So for the background of the inlay on that halo, he used yellow gold.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then, because that was part of the story was, hey, I'm looking for maybe a single or two-tone design. So he definitely took that into consideration.
Yeah, I'm just hoping, I see this job egg. I hope he's job egging frequently with all this going on here.
It's a lot. And actually, we spoke about job bags with Michael Bartlett.
Nice. Little Barlow experience. Okay.
Yeah, we had a revolving door right here, man.
It's always great when you have someone who wears suspenders join this and talk about making jewelry.
Such a brilliant, like, you ever talk to those people and you're like, man, you just have a brilliant mind, you know? He's one of those people.
It's fantastic.
So yeah, you can see Joseph is done. He just completed his render, and
a lot of these look kind of similar though. I'm looking around, I'm looking at this, and they're kind of similar in a way. You know what I mean? Like they both have a bunch of stones on them. The bezel shape is pretty similar for all of them.
Yep, and they also you can see a lot of them took the design aspect. So they have the 6-pointed star, they have the cards, they have different icons that they've all incorporated somewhere. Like Chris, the story said he travels to Turkey, right? Well, he's got a Turkish flag right
there
on
it
the
is.
side.
Now, did Chris make that himself, or was he on Google Images?
He went to Google Images and traced. Yep.
That's fair. You know what? If it's a tool
That's
on
what
Matrix,
I would have done.
I would do the same thing.
Yep.
That's just a smart
You
move.
would use image trace if I know you.
I would use roster to vector, and I would use it, and I had a big smile on my face the whole time I used it, because that's one of the best commands inside of Matrix Code. If you're not roster or vectoring, you're not doing it right. Let me tell you this right now.
Yeah, the rastered vector is the new version of image trace. You feed it a image, and it will outline it. We kind of spoke about that earlier, right?
Takes all the curves.
Yep.
Don't have to do anything. No tracing, nothing.
Oh, I see a big hey bow. Is that Zuki Designs? Is that Linda Suzuki? I think so. Hello. If I do not own Matrix Gold yet, but I would like to start taking your beginner classes, could I start the classes before buying? So unfortunately for our classes, you do have to own a license of Matrix Gold or CounterSketch. Now, there are a few options for you. So one, if you are a student, right, you can get what's called a student license. So student licenses are 1-year terms of Matrix Gold, very, very reasonably priced, like $200 reasonable.
Very reasonable.
So you can do it that way, or you could do our financing. So we have 12-month financing via reoccurring payments where, you just call in and say, hey, I'd like to, purchase Matrix Gold, but I want to finance it for 12 months, and we can do that. And
we have our first crash here. You see this?
Chris has crashed a couple times.
Multiple times.
Yeah,
really.
And that's kind of why
you see the frustration there.
We recommended job bagging quite a bit, right? So job bagging is extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, and it sucks because it looks like he was in a flow state at that moment.
Yeah.
He was going crazy on the keyboard, and then now he has to take a little break. But this is good. He might be able to manifest some new ideas, think about the design differently.
Yep. So Haven looks like he's putting ovals at the bottom, which is pretty nice.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I can't tell if the ovals taper right here. Kind of.
I probably would taper.
I would taper too right here, definitely. But you just can't tell from this angle.
No.
Haven has a lot of stones going on here. I mean, I like it. I'm a fan, right? He definitely removed some, but at one point he had a lot of stones going on there.
Yeah, I like what he did. He kind of framed the geometric design with some marquees. The upside down stones. It's a look. So
it's a look.
We will be printing these designs out and have
absolutely.
Yep, and we'll have them on display at the banquet. So at the end of Ben Stuller's workshop, we have an award banquet. Yeah. Oh, there you go, right on cue. Brandon is amazing. So you can tune in and
he read the room.
See the winners Saturday night. Scan that QR code and bring you right over to the live stream. It'll be in the description for you guys.
Yep, and I'll be printing this in the B9 gray, which is like a hard prototype resin. If you guys haven't heard, prototyping is definitely in these days.
Yeah.
If you need to print your customer a ring, in under 20 minutes, something for them to put on, see how it looks, but even check their finger size. Because finger sizes fit differently, right? A standard fit, comfort fit, it's all going to fit differently. I always recommend you buy a printer, you print it off in a gray prototype resin just to check the fit. Or to see how it looks. It's a big investment buying a jewelry. Might as well give them a chance to look how it looks on their finger before they buy it, right?
Yeah. And if you can imagine that customer experience, right? A customer walks in the door, you're like, hey, I'm looking for a custom design. Okay, no problem. Let me CAD it up. Oh, wow, it looks good right there. But I want to see it in real life. Oh, no problem. Go get a coffee. I'll print it in 15 minutes, and you can check it out.
Come back later. They can keep it. That resin's not expensive. But probably like 5 to 10 cents for a part. It's really not that bad. They can
Really
go
not
home,
that bad.
show their family what it looks like, everything. Is that another crash for Christopher? Huh?
Let me go see.
Yeah, go take a look there.
If you want to just chat about the designs real quick, I'll be
chat about the
right back.
designs. So it looks like 3 people are done now. We have Joseph, Andrew, and Haven, who are all in the rendering process. So they are wrapping up. Christopher looks like he was still going back and through checking his designs. This looks like it's. Let's see here. So Andrew's trying to pick out what metal type he wants to display his jewelry in right now. He looks like he's kind of indifferent. He has a white gold, but then he also has a 2-tone piece. There are some yellow gold in there. Stones are kind of green on the side. I wonder if he's going to put some emeralds in there. Now, this isn't the full render, though, okay? This is just a preview. Now, he's not in ray traced. He's just in a render display mode. So this is not a finalized render. This is just him trying to manifest what this is going to look like so he can picture this when it's done. But it's a great mode to work in, though. If you know how to apply styles and you know how to do it efficiently, it's a great way to view your jewelry and not have any lag. Because if you're in ray trace mode right now, the delay would be insane right now. Every time he moved it, it would have to keep ray tracing it. So by going into this render display mode, he's able to skip that buffering process and look at it exactly how he wants to look at it. So very smart by him on this point. I hope it's manufacturable. Looking at it from the side, it looks like he's missing some connection points there. Looks like the prong is not actually touching the bottom end of that shank. So we'll definitely be looking at that. But I do love the triangle prongs in this piece. It's great. It's great in design from Andrew, honestly. He's a great guy. And then Haven over here looks like he is working in ray trace mode. So no, he's not in ray trace mode. So he's also in the render mode, but he applied a background. And what's cool about what he's doing now is that he's actually customizing his background too. So if you look at the top right there, yeah, we're gonna have a guest coming here. We're gonna have Andre's gonna come on here. Hey, Andre, what's going on?
How y'all doing?
Good. So Andre, what do you do here?
Yeah, man. So I'm one of the assistant managers in the CAD department. So essentially, what we do, the customers who own Countersketch or Matrix Gold or want to modify one of our Stuller styles, they send us those CAD models and we get them modeled up and right for the customer.
Yeah, it's impressive work. You know what? I've heard a lot of good things about Andre, and the one thing I heard about him is that you're the king of scripts.
You could say that, dude. A couple people have told me that. I really like getting into scripting and
yeah. So can you explain it? Can you explain what scripting is for people who don't know?
Yeah. So basically, Rhino has a built-in Python script editor in there. So you can go in, and if you know a little bit of Python, you can go in and write custom commands to do custom things for whatever you want to do. And with the rise of AI, I know Bo was joking about it earlier, me and AI, but
yeah.
you can write some custom Python scripts with ChatGPT or any of these AI.
I saw that, and it was incredible. Yeah, Rhino script via AI. So what's the craziest thing that you've ever written with Rhino script?
With Rhino script, the craziest thing I've ever written.
Yeah, because I've seen it. I've seen yours one time. You hit, I think, just one hotkey.
Yeah.
And then you had a whole ring to just generate.
Yeah, so one thing I did do for our team here at Stuller, when we do a lot of manual renderings for customers, I wrote a script that'll manually go through each viewport. So it'll do front, top, perspective, side. It imports a background for us. So it's a one-click button. We go in, we press it renders everything for us, and it saves it to our desktop. And it really just saves us a lot of time.
Renders it for you too.
Yeah.
That's actually wild.
Yeah.
Now, Andre, talking to the customers here, people who are listening, what would be like your top 5 hotkeys that you would recommend for Matrix Gold?
Ooh.
So to program it.
Man, I would say Cage Edit.
Cage Edit, okay.
Outside ring rail, man. You can do a lot of things with outside
You can.
ring rail.
I do like that answer. That's
You
a great
can do
answer.
a lot.
Yeah, outside ring rail's great.
Yeah. Let's see, number 3, head builder, dude.
You
Head
had build
builder,
that. Yeah.
Yeah. You can create a lot of heads in
No,
head builder.
you
A lot
can.
of people don't
Yeah.
know the type of styles you can recreate there. There's a lot in there. There's a lot of options. Can't go wrong with Signet Builder.
Okay, so
Signet
that'd be
Builder's
4.
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what would be your 5th?
Number 5, man, it's a tough one, dude. This is a tough one.
Yeah, I'm
probably-
surprised you haven't said like wire cut or next perspective or like next view, next viewport,
Yeah, I
or
don't-
anything like
I don't
that, or you just don't use those a lot.
No, I really just don't use them.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do use trim a lot. I'd probably put trim or
Trim is
or a
nice.
Split if you want to keep your geometry.
Now, is it split or is it split at point? Which one do you prefer to use?
I do split.
Do you just split?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not an at a point guy. Yeah. I think I'm more about a point guy. So, Andre, what do you think of these pieces so far?
Man, I've been watching from my desk live for the last hour, and man, they're looking pretty good. This dude Andrew right here, Andrew Schmidt, he's doing pretty good
He's
with his
crazy.
design.
He's going ballistic.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. At first, whenever I seen other guys using kind of Signet Builder, I was wondering what he was doing, Andrew, but his design looks really good.
Well, Bo said so I wasn't here for the first half. Bo said he used Curve Network to make
Yeah,
this.
did he?
That's what he said.
Wow.
It seems like he skipped the whole everything, and you can kind of tell it's Curve Network, I guess, because the middle of the shank does have that weird little bend to it. If he goes through a front view, I'll have to look at it again. But man, he is like really refining this piece down hard.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's almost like a skeletonized
Exactly.
type of,
Right? It's cool.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about the prong shapes?
Yeah, they're interesting. They're different. Yeah, I like
It's like
them.
a triangle claw prong in a way, but it's
Yeah.
like deeper than a claw, right?
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
Oh, I haven't seen the bottom of this yet. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it looks good. Did they get Christopher back up? I seen he had crashed.
No, I think they're still working on it right now. I'm not sure what, but I do know that he's been job bagging like crazy.
Oh, good.
So they hammered him with job bags. They said, "Hey, man, you have to job bag about once every 5 minutes with how you with your workflow." So they've been a good job about doing that. Now, I just hope that piece is manufacturable. There's some stuff on the side shank that makes me wonder if everything is really connected. I did see like a prong that was not touching the shank, so we'll have to check that.
Yeah.
But we will be supporting these later, supporting them and 3D printing these guys so they can take a look at it.
Oh, awesome, man. That's really nice.
So what do you, now when you're looking at this, do you think that the French set, do you think he did a good job making that?
I think he did a good job. As far as,
curvature's good?
Yeah. As far as looking at like a production ready type of piece, I think the stones would need to be a little deeper in there.
Okay.
A little more metal above the stone, but other than that, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. So one thing I can't tell is if he did a channel in there. Do you see a channel cutter in the French set? Do you think he did that?
Oh, man.
Because usually when you do a French set, it's 4 cutters. There's 2 micro prongs. You have 1 gem cutter, then you have 1 channel cutter.
Yeah, we usually have a channel cutter down the middle. It's hard for me to see right
It's
here.
hard.
He
It's
has
definitely
one,
hard to
but-
tell. Yeah, especially the way he's working. He's working like with that thing tucked away in the corner, and we're just seeing this viewport here for most of it. Now he does have on these grid snaps, which is really important to have if you're trying to keep symmetrical here. No record history. That's interesting, right?
Yeah. So this is one little, not a script, but a macro I did write that's helped me a lot is turning on and off O-snaps, dude. I got certain key buttons that'll turn on and off certain O-snaps for me. So I
Really?
don't have to go down and select each one. Like I got
That's
certain
cool.
groups. Yeah.
I didn't know that. So like, what do you have grouped up? Is like end and then mid and
Yeah,
all that. It's all
yeah.
grouped up. You turn those on, turn the other ones on, like vertex and stuff.
Yep, with just a one click.
That's
It's-
incredible. Wait, so Haven's now down and Christopher's back up.
Yeah.
Looks like you got to sacrifice one to get the other one going.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like Joseph is done, huh?
Joseph has been chilling like this for like the past 5 minutes. I think I don't know if he's flexing on us. I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah, he's quick.
But to have 4 of these rings, and look at the bottom of the shank. You see that?
Oh yeah.
So it's the poker signs.
Yeah.
Like you have the club, clover, heart, all that stuff. Spade.
Yeah, he did a great job right here.
Man, he really read that story and nailed it. Honestly, look at this render.
Yeah. Yeah, these are some talented pieces, man.
That's a great render. So in the story, it says it's from Turkey, right? So Christopher put a big old turkey sign on the right
Oh,
side
wow,
of the
wow.
shank right there.
Yeah, that was a good idea right there.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing with the AI, man. It's picking up fast, and I think one day this is going to get into design, and it's really going to change the game. once it
I've
gets
seen
there.
some stuff that you've been working on. I think it's called backflip, where you're quad remeshing and you're getting some smooth stuff. Do you want to go ahead and talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So Backflip AI is they're a brand new company. They started up. It's actually the guys who created Markforged. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Markforged. Yes, I am.
They're 3D printing like metal and stuff like that. So those guys got together and they decided to create this AI for CAD modeling. And basically what you can do is you type in a text prompt. You basically describe what you want. It'll generate 4 images for you. You pick which image you like the best. It'll generate it into CAD. and it looks really good. They're a little bit blocky when they first come in, but you bring it into Rhino and you quadri-mesh it, turn it into a mesh or something like that.
Now, is this a free service? Can anyone get access to this?
So it was free when they first came out. Now they've moved to like a crediting system.
Like currency based, where you gotta like spend real money for 1,000 coins, and each render is 1,000.
Yeah,
or whatever.
It's really nice. They can't do full jewelry pieces. It's not there yet, but
yeah. So you're loading in, like, you're basically making design elements, right? Like, give me a bear, or give me a fleur de lis,
yeah, for real.
and they'll give it to you.
Yeah, like this turkey sign he did, Christopher, on the side of the shank. He could have put that in a backflip and it would have generated.
Yeah, it would have
no
nailed that
problem.
out. Which saved you a lot of time, because I'm pretty sure he loaded that in with an image and traced that. I think is what
really?
Bo said. Yeah, which isn't the worst thing. You could always do the old roster vector, which is a pretty nice command.
Yeah,
you could always do that too.
Roster to vector is a great one, man.
Yeah.
That is a hot one.
So Joseph's done, Andrew's done. I'm assuming Haven's done by now. So it looks like we just have Christopher who's working, and he's an arsenal of cutters going on here. This Boolean might be the biggest. This might be why Haven might be crashing a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
probably
big
so, man.
Boolean.
That's a lot of Booleans.
Yeah, to see a Boolean, I don't think I ever Boolean that much in my life. I usually take it in steps. Is that how you would do it too, Andre? You usually do it in steps? Like you do one half to do the other half?
Yeah.
That's typically what I do. To do one big Boolean like that is terrifying. I know in Matrix 9, for all you legacy users, it was a little bit easier, right? Because you had the force Boolean, the Boolean builder. It might have done a little bit better job. But in Gold, it's a little bit finicky how you do it. Because if you type in Boolean difference in the command bar, you're going to get the Rhino one, right? Then if you use the GenVision Boolean difference, you're getting the one with parametric history, which works differently.
Yeah.
Like one's a little bit more forceful than the other one.
Yeah.
So which one are you a fan of, Andre?
Definitely the parametric.
Same.
I am a parametric guy through and through.
Same.
I use history on everything, every piece I design.
Yep.
History.
Which is way different than our one designer, Derek Pinto, who is a sub-D menace.
Yeah.
He's a lord of sub-D. And I do kind of play with it a little bit, but I'm not as proficient as he is.
Yeah, it's however you can get it done, really, man. And he gets it done that way, and
It's impressive.
Come out great, yeah. Yeah, for us in the CAD department, a lot of times customers see the pieces and they want to make changes, here and there. Yeah. They'll want to go and change the stone size. So I find working with history, when customers come in and they want to change, a pair to a marquee, and I can just go into the gem builder, change the size, and my head updates and everything like that. It's money,
It's money. And what's a good example is if you look at Christopher's design stack on the right-hand side, that's all parametric commands.
Oh, yeah. He's
that
going.
Huge list.
Yeah.
He's hammering it right now.
Yep.
And it's funny because if you look at Haven's, his list is small. He might have like 8 things on there, and while Chris has like over 15, right? So it's funny to see how they both design their workflows. Oh,
yeah. There's so many different ways. We have about 30 guys in our CAD department, and we all work different. Everyone, if you go watch people, you can learn from anyone in the department, and you'll learn different things.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's really good. It looks like Andrew's almost done too. Looks like Andrew was rendering his out.
Andrew is rendering. I think it's just Christopher working now. I'm pretty sure everyone else is finished. We just have him. And he got held back a little bit by these crashes.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, but look at those mirrors he has. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He has 5 mirrors on that guy.
Yeah.
With all those prongs on surfaces.
Yeah, he's really got a lot of dynamic commands there, man. I'm proud of that, dude. I like that.
Me too. He's awesome. Him and his and Monica Rivers work together, and they always come for every event, bridge, and every bench workshop, everything. So they're great. Cool. It's like a dynamic duo with those two.
Cool, man. Cool.
So I'm seeing a theme here. The theme is a lot of dark stones, like a lot of dark stones. We don't know the direction Christopher's going in yet. He hasn't got to any render. How much time have we left here on this challenge?
I think it's running out, man.
We have 1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It looks like he's close, though. I don't know what else he has to do.
He's close. In this, I don't know if rendering is part of this challenge. I would assume not. But Christopher looks like he is done. He's standing up. He's talking to some people over there. So I think he is kind of finished.
Probably. This challenge here is very similar to the challenge we give our in-house designers when they're up for promotions and stuff like that. Yep.
Can you give an example? Like, do you have a story and a photo and everything?
Yeah, we had a piece. It wasn't a signet ring, but we had a model with instructions, and it's basically, they supply us with a model. You gotta modify it to be two-tone. Add stones to the side,
and they give you dimensions and everything, right?
Yeah, they give us dimensions of what we gotta follow, and we gotta have to render it just like this.
Really?
Yeah. And when I did these, When I got my promotion to take the test, I did it with full history, dude.
Wow.
All the way through.
Is that you get bonus credits if it's fully parametric?
No
There's
credits,
nothing. There's
no.
no bonus points
No.
right there. No gold stars attached to the end of that. That's impressive. But if you look right there, it says that you can see the winners Saturday night posted on StellarBenchDuelerInstagram.com. So for the challenge is done. The challenge is wrapped up. It's finished. If you want to see who won, you need to go on the Stellar Bench Dueler Instagram. Okay.
Awesome.
So tomorrow night we have the Parts and Pieces Challenge.
All day tomorrow they have
All
the
day
parts
tomorrow. I
and
said
pieces
tomorrow night is a big flop on my end. Tomorrow, 9:30 to 4:30 Central Time.
challenge. Yeah, cool. I seen you guys actually were raffling off a Matrix Gold license as well.
We were.
That's gonna be announced tomorrow.
Dude, that's actually really exciting.
Yeah.
I'm super happy you brought that up because anyone who got a demo today by any of us, me, Bo, any of the guys on the sales floor, Terrence and Derek, even if you attended our classes, our lessons, our demos, anything, you got a raffle ticket to win either Matrix Gold or Counter Sketch. And you get to choose which one you want. If you don't want it, which I'm sure you do want it, you can definitely refer, but that's incredible. It's $6,000 worth of software for free. We've never done that before in our history.
Incredible value, dude.
It's insane. First year we've ever done that.
Yeah, somebody's gonna be really lucky to win that.
Thanks, man.
All right, thank you, Andre.
Andre.
Hey, we are back with Bo. We have the
Yeah.
B&T special now.
B&T, baby. All right, guys. Well, I think that's where we'll leave it. How can they find out more about us, Tanner?
Yeah, same. I wish I was here more. You know, the banter would have been awesome, but you only got a little piece of us as a duo today. But if you take the classes, you take level 1, level 2, and 3, you get the experiences for like a week.
Yep.
So what's better than that, right?
Yep. B&T special.
Yeah. We call it the Wombo combo around here. It's pretty
Wombo
feared
combo.
and respected around this
Kind of like
building.
Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger in Twins.
In Twins. It looks exactly like that. I just have more hair than Arnold.
All right, guys. Well, if you need more about us, you can find us at gymvision.com. Definitely go check the website out, like us on social media, and hopefully you'll see more. So thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone. It was a pleasure talking to you guys and answering a few of your questions. Hope everyone has a great weekend.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.